my darkest memories now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it, 'cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. What's on the other side of inhibition? Ooh, I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so cool.
And we're flying so close to where we belong, and we're trying to go somewhere new. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves, I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the waves flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves, I wanna make shockwaves with you. And I know I'm only getting higher, till it feels like I can walk through fire. And I know I'm only getting higher, till it feels like I can walk through fire. Trying to step back and see the view from above, 'cause I know that nothing lasts forever. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves, I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the waves flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves, I wanna make shockwaves with you. Shockwaves with you, shockwaves with you, shockwaves with you, shockwaves with you.
kid, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, we're toe to toe. We're always on the road. We're so better. We can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together we're better off. And we can. Better off. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If I'm knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe. We're always on the road. Or better, we can't stop, we can't stop, 'cause together.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is a good Thursday night here. It is the EGL Gold Tier, powered by EveTech and Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And tonight, we continue the shenanigans on World's Edge here. It's Group B versus Group E. Next to me is none other than Esproxy. And I mean, how are you feeling tonight?
Tired, but ready for the action. Extremely excited to see what else, as you said, shenanigans are going to be happening here with the Esports Apex Gold Tier lead that we've been waiting to get to a close, and we're getting closer and closer to finding out who's going to be moving forward into that platinum stage. So it's going to come down to the wire here.
It's definitely going to be coming down to the wire. And I mean, unfortunately, last night we weren't able to get the broadcast in. But if you're tuning into a couple of the games, there are a couple of teams that were dominating, right? And they've been dominating throughout this entire league thus far. And I mean, I have to just quickly mention them, no bias here. DNMK, I mean, catching just a couple of their games yesterday. I mean, they're leading the pack right now, right at the top with points.
Woo! I don't know, Thendo, you and I, we've casted a few games where we were shouting DNMK right at the top there, doing some absolute crazy things. So I'm wondering if we're going to be having a repeat of that, or is it going to start filtering down? Because as we mentioned, they're getting into the platinum stage now. So some of the teams might just be doing what they need to just to get into those qualifiers, again, just to get into those masters, and then they might be pushing the envelope. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, but enough talk about DNMK because they're not playing tonight. Tonight, we have the likes of ATK, the Rejects, Vinco Gaming, who last time, when they were about, they were looking promising, but they fell off a little bit. We'll see exactly if there's any teams out here that will, be leading the pack in terms of just kills and just momentum and really guiding the lobby, right? Because it's been kind of a common thing where we have this one team that's kind of like a dominating force, but sometimes the matchups get a little bit interesting, right? Also to mention, we have Ominous Gaming, and last time they were on stream, it was not a fun time for them.
It's unfortunate, always things happening in Battle Royales, but there's also a couple of fun teams that could be throwing, a few spanners in the works. I mean, there's a couple of meme teams that I'm also seeing that, shout out Nibble Meme Team. I'm going to see what you guys are going to be doing. Maybe Sparrow, maybe some of the other teams who are looking to bring in a little bit of a surprise tonight. So I think the big established teams, the teams that have the experience, the teams you and I and everyone in the community has seen many times over, they have a bit of a target on their back. They've got that added pressure because we expect things from them. Whereas with the other teams, we're sitting and still have a little bit of a question mark on those names and waiting to see, okay, well, are they good enough to, hit the big dogs? Because, I mean, I particularly was very surprised with Bams, especially when we started off on that first day. They came out of nowhere. They were one of the teams to really give it to, the likes of even ATK, which is a name that we very well know. So, again, I think there's a few, maybe diamonds in the roughs that are going to come out and surprise us.
Yeah, definitely some diamonds in the rough. I'm looking at early axes who, when they can get their rotations together, look really good when they're moving into the zone. Formula One was also a little bit formidable coming into the games last week. And another team was SNMK3 because I believe there's like three of them. Yes, three different ones. Don't get them confused. But specifically, SNMK3 were doing an absolute madness. I'm wondering if this is the same group where we had Calamitous playing. I will just have to remember what team they're on, or just get a glimpse of the lobby once it fills up, and it is filling up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into the action once that gets going. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of opportunity now, especially in the gold tier, for some of these teams to just come out of nowhere and surprise us, right? Because the lobbies aren't too stacked yet, right? Once we get into the platinum tier, it's about to get hectic.
Yeah, that's really where the action is going to be going down. Because as we said, qualifiers, then we're going to go to that main event. And speaking about the qualifiers, for the gold tier, we still got quite a few teams. We still got a lot of teams that are filtered through that may not be up to scratch just yet, but they're still in the lobby. They're still causing a little bit of chaos. Going through to platinum, as you said, then we start filtering. We start getting those pieces of gold out of the grains of sand, and suddenly we have a lot more chaos. We have a lot more structure as well, with some of the more professional teams or the teams with more experience coming through and applying those strategies to the gameplay. Whereas now they might still just be having a little bit of fun. Maybe they'll still be rushing a little bit more, being more aggressive, not as calculated as what we would expect them to be. And then when we get to the finals event, man, just make sure you got popcorn, make sure you're comfortable, because it's going to be absolutely insane. But I don't know, Thendo, we've got World's Edge, of course, going through today. Do you think there are a few places that you've been seeing in the last couple of broadcasts that have been really, really popular drops?
I mean, it's always fragment for me. You'll see a lot of teams wean on whether they want to lean into that fragment drop and see if they can get that high tier loot, get the beacon scan and get the advantage on the rotations. Countdown as well, I think people are really starting to like kind of the rotations that you get out of Countdown. You can slide over to a landslide, and if you're really lucky, you maybe spot two teams landing in Skyhook, right? I mean, that's just a recipe for a third party, so you're just going to make sure you go towards that direction. Anything else coming up to me? I think people are sleeping on Lava Siphon in terms of drop spots, right? I think Nibble Meme Team, if I can remember well, I saw them dropping Lava Siphon when they were playing in their group games last week. But Lava Siphon, man, it's also one of those not particularly central to the map, but it's center of like the south side of the map, right? So you still have really easy access to a lot of rotations when you go, from that spot.
I remember quite a few teams were, very favored towards either the northeastern side or like right down south. I mean, we were talking about Tree, those places, and then maybe they'll take the rotation through to Lava Siphon, but that's the most action I've pretty much seen with it coming through. I don't know, I feel like there's also been quite a bit of contention. I feel like teams have been contesting each other's drop spots. We haven't had that usual expectation where the teams are sort of respecting the space and still giving that space, because we're still in the gold tier, we're still getting through those qualifiers, we're still filtering down those teams. So expect chaos, expect teams to be dropping on top of each other and just already starting off with the eliminations as we get going with the broadcast. But I do wonder, is it at this point where teams start to pick it up, or is this where they start to fall off? Because now the pressure is building. Now for some of these teams, maybe tonight is their last game, maybe tomorrow night's going to be their last game. So now, if you're not in that top 40 going through to platinum, you start shaking, those nerves start coming through, and you start thinking, oh, please just don't let me run into 80k, or don't let me run into XYZ, don't let me run into XYZ, and you get that hesitation with the fights coming through. So do you think that the mental game is going to be negative or positive for some of the teams that don't have as much experience as, some of the other ones that we know?
Yeah, since it's still the gold tier, right, you need to come in and with a little bit of positivity, right? You're gonna find these teams that aren't too aware of exactly what their rotations are looking like and how to play their team fights, and composition always is gonna be a massive topic, right? And we'll get into compositions when we start to get into the Legend Select here, which will be very soon actually, as I believe all the teams are inside the lobby. And yeah, I think just coming into this one, if you have the experience, right, I think a lot of them start to understand what kind of tempo to push the game in, because the thing about being a really experienced team inside these gold tiers, right, is that a lot of inexperienced teams will be sometimes overreading the game, right? And that's why I think a lot of these teams like Nibble and DNMK, who have a lot of experience, can just run over lobbies because they know everyone's too fixated on the fact that, like, yes, you still have to play in a scrim format, you still have to worry about rotations, etc., and get a good spot, but you can still push a little bit more. You can still overstep in certain boundaries because not everybody has everything together, and you can capitalize off a lot of mistakes that are happening inside the lobby. Whereas when we start getting to platinum, you'll seldom find those mistakes coming from these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we said, we filtered through, some of the more casual teams who are just trying out to see where they fit in the competitive scene. And we get to, I guess, a closer representation of what we have in the Apex community, both locally and, of course, I mean, this is open to Africa. So anyone who's got the opportunity will be doing what they can. So that's really where we start to see, the potential teams really duking it out. And as I said, that structure comes through, those calculated plays come through. So it's not just about being passive or aggressive. It's about being calculated in your decision making. And so for a lot of the teams who have that experience, they know when and where to push, they know the timing, they have the understanding of when to make those decisions that become really crucial, as you said. And now I'm hoping that we're still going to be seeing the teams, having a little bit of fun as well, because I mean, we love esports. It's always going to be a lot of fun trying to, try your first competitive out, and for some of these teams, they are doing really well, and they need to ride that momentum all the way to the end, potentially into platinum, potentially into the final event, which I hope they do. I want some chaos. I want to have a little bit of positivity, maybe a little bit of fun with the competition coming through. So let's hope that comes through to fruition for tonight. Let's see, what have we got? We've spoken about pretty much everything that I can think of yet, except for the compositions, and we are going to be heading into the map, so thankfully I don't need to talk too much longer. Thendo, we can go through with that. I don't know. What are you thinking? What heroes are you expecting?
Yeah, I think people will be leaning towards the Valkyrie, definitely. Gibby always. I think Bloodhound's been a pretty consistent pick as well throughout this gold tier. The odd ones will always be the Caustics, and people are finding Caustic very useful. Watching some pro ALGS as well. A couple of Caustic being thrown in there. It works for some teams, it doesn't work for other teams. Sometimes it just depends on what they're feeling like. And I mean, for you, what do you expect coming into this one?
I don't know. When we saw them last, we saw quite a few fun heroes, I think, coming through. We still saw quite a few movement heroes. I mean, Octane, Wraith, all of the above still being involved. And then still, a few odd one outs. I wouldn't say they were bad choices for heroes, but they definitely were interesting. So, I mean, we had some fuses coming through, some seers, which I don't often see anymore. But it was definitely a fun one. And Bloodhound was definitely a huge add-on. And I do see already some Bloodhounds being chosen. There's those Valkyries coming through.
Wraiths as well.
A few Wraiths and Watsons.
Yeah,
which is quite interesting.
Yeah, Ash was just good. I think the diversity is looking good with the Legends. And it's actually looking quite tightened up compared to what we're normally used to. You really see a lot more of those odd picks. I saw just the one Bangalore, right? Which will be interesting to see.
Mirage.
Wait, was there Mirage?
There was a Mirage. Sparrow's running a Mirage Valkyrie. I think it was Wraith.
No,
I think it was.
Man.
Yes, they did. They did the thing.
Hey, me and Mirage it's just a pain when you're casting and you just see these multiple characters who's actually just the same person running around. But hey guys, let's just get into these drop spots and see where everybody is making their way in. And I'm particularly looking at ATK, at Ominous Gaming, right? Because those are kind of like the big names that will be looking into this kind of matchup.
Oh, look, the drop sites that we're going to be having right now, again, this is where I was asking the question, are we going to be having, a nice even spread of teams? Are they going to be a little cheeky? Are they going to get into each other's drop sites and maybe do a couple of early fights? Already, I mean, I'm seeing pretty standard things, except for Thermal Station, which looks a little contested there. I do see the team there of Sparrow as well as Dark Legacy Gaming a little bit close for comfort, so they might have a little bit of an onslaught later on. And then, of course, when we take a look there at towards Big Maud, we've actually got the teams there of Rejects and MSMK3. As you said, there's a difference. Taking a little bit here, so they might be finding each other a little bit later on. But already, Omnius Gaming looking to start us off strong here.
Yeah, Omnius in a big fight over here by the survey camp. They seem to be pushing the situation, and it's Thomas Moore on the receiving end of this, struggling for some lead. That Blue almost gonna come in clutch for Kinda Kong. And Fortune's making a nice little flank over here. I don't think they realize where he is, and if the beams come through, he will throw the snare. But Troy gets taken down, so now they need to make sure they get this trade. The beams are coming through. The wingman's pulled out as well, but that blast shield is going to be a tad little bit dangerous in absorbing that damage. And now 2 are down on OG. It's all up to Fortune. Everything's crumbling for them, but these wingman shots are slowly bringing them back into this one. It's Fortune who's getting pushed. He needs to hit every single shot that he can, spinning around the redeploy, but no, the shots are just not enough because he can't find a knock, and he's just spinning the movement. It's not going to secure him any kill at this point. We're starting off with a lot of action here. Ominous Gaming, we're looking out for them as what happened?
Oh, this is what happens with, you know, these spanners in the works that I was talking about. So they're coming through now. They're being quite surprising and doing exactly what we expect them to. Just confusing us. Absolutely confusing us, because all of a sudden, Omnius Gaming out for the count. And I mean, you mentioned it, there was a little bit of bad luck, you know, the last time we saw them, but wasn't expecting this.
Man, that is just devastating scenes, honestly. And they'll have to recoup for after that, right? Because it's 3 games, you know, and it's been tough to play these 3 games, because if you get that bad first drop, your second game always needs to be a big improvement. Vinco playing without their third tonight. Kano couldn't make it, unfortunately. They'll be doing things up, but hey, we've seen them put up some good numbers at least. We'll see exactly what can happen. And I mean, rotations right now, everyone seems to be settled. If you take a look at what the map looks like. Oh, okay. Swart, pretty close to a team. They'll be engaging pretty soon. And it is actually the team of Vinco.
Yeah, look, running a duo here might be a little bit difficult, but maybe they can use the Bloodhound to their advantage, get a nice little beacon scan going through, and there's the Bloodhound scan as you said it. So they've got some information here to work with, but of course that equally goes to the rest of the teams. Now they've got a good idea that there's someone close looking to start a potential fight. So a disengagement coming through here from Vinco might be worthwhile for me. I don't know if you're going to take that high-rise angle there. I think it's a little bit awkward to start that fight and maybe just focus, you know, getting into that zone rotation. But they look hungry for it. I don't know. Are we going to see an engagement here?
I don't think so. I think Vinco's wise to back off from this, right? Because when you're playing as a duo, you need to make sure you prioritize just finding yourself in good space. Because spacing is going to be a really big problem. Because you don't have that extra set of eyes to watch that extra pair of angles, right? But yeah, Swart just gonna push on forward now.
Ooh, and I am seeing Sparrow and who did we mention earlier? Actually, Early Access having a little bit of a fight themselves. They're being chased down at the moment as well. And we can see the same thing going through here with Reject. So all of a sudden, we're seeing players drop left, right, and center.
Yeah, players are dropping left, right, and center. The Valkyrie redeploy, they get away with it just. And look at mentality, how low they are there. They'll just get out of dodge just a little bit. Oh, this is a rough ending as well on top of that, right? Coming towards that lava siphon side, but where there's no cover, and while we're saying that, Rexu gets hit by an Oxstar, and ATK seems to be falling into pieces. Justice doing everything that he can with his PK. But 7 damage, the dreaded number. At least Trash Can is there to back him up, and they get the kill and they get the team wipe. It was looking a little bit grim there after that Oxstar stick, but they stabilize well.
Woo, coming through with that. Okay, alright, no, fantastic. A little bit of a reset there. I thought we were going to see another, you know, heavy hitter maybe going down there, but they managed to hold on and still are in this one. 14 squads left now as we take a look at it, and we've got Dark Legacy Gaming looking for a couple of kills themselves, taking out Dumbo there. So I think that's potentially the remainder there of Sparrow out for the count. Down to 13 squads remaining, and the numbers are still dropping as we watch it. Everyone looking a little bit more aggressive today, a little bit more proactive, picking up those numbers as much as they can, which we know. I mean, any sort of points that you can get early on and just set yourself a fantastic foundation for the end game, where you can just focus on early rotations, getting yourself into a nice spot. That just eases some of the stress that you might be worrying about, and gives yourself an opportunity to really focus in those later phases. But oh, we might be seeing a cheeky little ult here coming through from the Donut Legends.
Little ult to gain a little bit of ground here. And Apex, the team with a really odd name, is under a lot of heat here. They will get away, taking only minimal damage, holding up in the building. And Donut Legends, looking to get aggressive still. And there's a counter ulti on top of that. This time it's the Rolling Thunder. No, it's actually, wow, they're playing, this is the Bang and Gibby team. Alright, well, they've just got all the utility right there to push this team, right? And me thinking it's the other team with the Bang, but nah, that's not what's happening. Donut over here gotta use the Wraith Q to get out of dodge just for a little bit, and this fight is waging on for quite a little bit of time. Thankfully for them, there's not too many teams nearby, but they do need to worry about the rotation. Some beams are coming through over here for an unloaded fab, and the one knock is down, and now it's Apex RQ with the advantage.
Yeah, looking to get that confirmation there. They've got one down, looking for the rest. Where are they hiding? Where are they hiding? Is the question here. So now a little bit of a fallback here for Donut Legends as they try and reset, regroup, and look towards the rest of the team here. Still much contention going on, and we can tune into ATK Esports looking for their second team wipe that they're very, very keen to get. A lot of damage being put through. Right through the door frame, just looking to take out MSMK3 here, but they need to take on this building, and the master shots are coming through. We've got the bombardment on top of it all. So space trying to be given here, but ATK, they're hungry for this one. They're going to go for all of it.
There's just action everywhere right now on the map, right? You'd say it's like the final zone, the way everything is breaking loose. Rexy has to hit a Q to reposition. Dust goes down now. ATK is in a tough spot, and there's more teams converging onto the location. They gotta try to get out of here. Trash Can gets away just. And it's SNMK3 still holding things up here in the building. They will be able to get the rares onto Donut Daniel, but this nade could be huge, but not huge enough. Oh no, wait, it is from Hayes. I wonder if that was a follow-up nade of the same one. They will be able to get Dust out on top of that. It looks like ATK, and I mean, yeah, just action everywhere. You can hardly keep up with what's going on here.
Absolutely, it's just absolute chaos. I mean, my PC itself is even just having a moment right now, looking at all of the things that are happening on screen. Bams as well, pulling up right next to ATK, looking to get aggressive here, potentially. Ooh, Valkyries are an absolute pain to deal with, and I think that's the Donut Legends also mixed in. So ATK now finding themselves in a little bit of a sandwich here, and they are going to be taking advantage of it as much as possible. Just absolutely dishing out as much damage as they possibly can, getting those shields so close to red, and Rejects now in a bit of a situation where they need to recover and try and hold off the line here. You can see still very hungry for some kills, a couple of shield knocks, shield cracks going through, but nothing too crazy just yet. They're just peeking and prodding, but Hawkeye here with the triple take, the gold triple take, mind you, very happy to get a couple of EVA points there. And right now, Thendo, I mean, we've got what, a four-way team fight here?
Yeah, and the worst part about all of this, right, is there are so many teams that are not in zone, right? We're only looking at about maybe 5 teams fighting over here that have already positioned themselves well and made this rotation. But so many teams are still having to make this rotation towards the Harvester side. BAMs are under a lot of heat. They'll have to back off, but there's teams everywhere in angles that are just not in their favor. The Rejects look to be sliding on in to try to deal some damage, and they will be able to find the one knock over there onto Nauzelet. And now the Rejects looking to just continue this momentum.
It would be fantastic if they can keep it up. Get a couple of kills there in the pockets. Rams are now not looking too healthy. Kuzo is down. Na is unfortunately out for the count, and Hawkeye alive to try and recover. That redeploy coming through here from Formula 1 right on top of another team. Trying to just get something or other here, and ATK Esports are going to smell it. They want that. I mean, it's a beautiful trail saying, hi, come shoot at us right now. That bubble's going to be deployed. But look at this. We've got a Peacekeeper in the hand of Rexu with the bombardment in there, but I don't think he cares too much. Going to take a little time, but they are very keen to take this approach here and get the confirmation. The door is open. There's no door to hide you now. You've got no more cover. The beams are coming through. Trashcan Inhaler says, you know what, come bring it here. Nox coming through, and now they have an advantage here to just take on through. Here's the peak. Here's the Nox.
Praise! Oh, but on the opposite end, it's just Dust with the flat line mowing them down. My goodness. That pole did not go into a good place for Formula 1, unfortunately. And he's Formula 1 trying to enter in like, guys, let's just redeploy. We'll be fine. No ways. There's all these teams just fighting out here. Little do they know, they've literally entered a battlefield. And it's all up to the Wraith now to just try to secure some points. And look at how many points can you really secure. They're still 12 squads up. It feels as if this has been going back to back with all these fights here. Is barely a moment to breathe. And look, SNMK3 are still vibing in this building.
Somehow, some way, they're still alive and still kicking it. So yeah, 12 squads left, but I feel like we've been watching a final zone fight over and over and over. So many teams still getting involved. Early access we were waiting for. You were hyping them up, Thendo, and they are looking to get a couple of knocks on their side, maybe get some points as they move into zone. Gatekeeping one of the teams right now, and the damage is absolutely disgusting coming through. The Ash ulti mid-air, we are hunting this player down. We want that confirmation, but where are they hiding? Nice little... Ooh, are we gonna get the battle good time? The knock comes through. It's not gonna be the case. Akez can say thank you very much for that. Early access now on a tear of their own, and Bossfuck somewhere away, just trying to stay alive. Sneaking in the grass and hopefully going to be staying into this one, but that zone is hurting. It's burning, Thendo.
Zone is burning. Unfortunate for Alex Donut there. The rat has found out. And everything's a little bit more quiet now. I mean, ATK's just been running up and down, just paroling this area. And they haven't found much kill points out of it, though. They've just found a lot of damage. It's been hard to follow through some of these kills because of just the sheer number of squads that are piled up in one spot. Thomas Moore, still alive and kicking after we saw them in that early game taking out OG. Down to 11 squads now. Mole is kill leader with 3, right? And I mean, Ez, come on. How is that even a thing right now? How much fighting have we seen for the kill leader to only have 3?
No, I don't want to believe it. Apex is lying, I don't care. There's no way that is the kill count leader now. Come on. I mean, we've at least seen 6 or 7 teams, you know, just being absolutely rushed, absolutely taken out by, you know, 1 or 2 people, and yet 3 is the kill leader points. And as you take a look at it, rotation still have to happen. Swart just trying to get closer, maybe get that banner, try and reset. I mean, in terms of I don't know if they're going to be able to get that respawn in, but we'll see how it happens. Maybe respawn, mobile respawn beacon can make it happen.
Yeah. Zone
moving on a little bit more towards I don't know, a very uncomfortable spot, I would say, for the final zone.
Ooh,
look at that.
Shout out Observers for showing us that one. That's tough. That is a fight for high ground right now, right? Because you can see right there where the team is situated. And I believe that's the team of the Rejects. Planted up top there. They've got a good spot to gatekeep most of what's in front of them. And I mean, yeah, guys, if you're just joining in over here, we've just had a flurry of action and we're catching our breath. It's the EGL Gold tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And we're having a ball tonight. The players are giving us a show, and there's still some more action to come.
Oh yeah, they're not going to stop anytime soon. This is only the first game. These 2 groups still have 2 more after this, right on the same map. So this is the warm-up, Thendo, if we can call it that. And the warm-up is getting pretty spicy already. I still can't believe that the kill leader's 3 kills, but hey, we'll talk about that later. 10 squads left. Right, we're halfway down, and we still got quite a few teams in zone looking to hold a fantastic position here. But as you said, that final zone, there's a handful of buildings there, but it's going to come down to who's got those early rotations and who's going to get the best building first. And oh, just absolute bullets flying past Mole's face right now, trying to connect something here with the Sentinel. And it's going a little bit slowly. There's a Kraber in the hands of Zeely. That's gonna be a fun one. Do it. Oh, please. Oh, just do it. Just.
Target over there.
Oh, it was juicy. It was right there, Thendo. He didn't take the shot.
Yeah, just a little bit worried that a shot like that would only yield some damage. They can't really capitalize much more from that. You know, you gotta be sparing with those Kraber shots. But oh, ATK's in a bit of a battle here. The R301 of Retsu finds unloaded FAP, and then Trash Can. It's just gonna confirm that. And ATK finally capitalizing on a couple of kills. I mean, Rexu has 1,300 damage with 1 kill. I mean, that just to show you how much they've been shooting at other squads. And now if you're scoping the zone out as one of these teams, you really know that the pressure's on. You gotta make sure you find a spot in this one. And with this Kraber in play, things are gonna get really dangerous for any of those teams rotating out in the open. Oh no, not that kind. You think you're safe if you're the Rejects, but as soon as that next zone pulls, they're gonna be crying, man.
Yeah, this zone has been an absolute menace to many of these teams. I mean, you think you just get into zone and bam, it just moves to the opposite end. And if we turn our attention here back to ATK Esports, still hunting players. And at least now, you know, we're up to 4 kills here, so we don't have kill leaders of 3 anymore. Getting closer and closer to whatever you would expect. But ATK is super proactive, super aggressive as well. I would say, you know, they haven't been afraid to take a fight whatsoever. Of course, they took their time trying to get in there. But we've got spikes down, we've got we've got almost 2 from Borsvak here, down and out for the count because Dark Legacy are looking to beam and dream with that Spitfire coming through, dealing the damage. Might just have to take a little bit of time as that bombardment comes through to try and give poor old Doof a little bit of time just to reset.
The whole Legacy squad here all have heirloom weapons. Kraber, Spitfire, and Volt. Ooh, that's just a little bit unfortunate there. ATK dropped down, take that solo out. ATK starting to try and clean up these kills. That's an MK3 on the top of this crane. I've got some high ground to work with. But is it safe? There's a lot of angles that they're exposed to. But for now, they'll just hold things out. And all these squads are about to get a glimpse of the zone. They haven't been able to scan it. And by the odds of it, no one has been. And now they're starting to panic and think to themselves, oh no, what do we do next, guys? What is the play? And if you're one of those raid teams, right, you've got at least that portal to work with. But a lot of these other teams just have that Valkyrie and the Bloodhound. And it'll be really tough for them. And no one's in that zone except for 2 teams, it looks like.
I mean, that zone has been a menace. We said it's just absolutely avoiding any and all teams saying, no, sorry, you're going to have a good bit of exercise today trying to catch up to me. 8 squads left alive and an absolute, I don't know, a flurry of damage that's been being dealt by ATK. They are picking apart anyone and everyone, and there's Das already finding Fencer and just looking for many more. I mean, yes, there's a team with full, heirloom weapons, but ATK Esports are looking like the team to be really dealing the damage with spikes like that. R301 teams galore. Let's just keep taking a couple more, shall we?
Alright, ATK stand up. They had a rough week in the past, but now they're looking to step things up here. The rejects are still holding things down on this side, but they have to make their way into zone soon. There's only 20 seconds for these squads, and there's so many teams that aren't in just yet. ATK have a lot of ground over here to take these shots, and the beams once again from the point over here. And it's that heirloom weapon team that we're looking at, Legacy. They just need to get a Kraber shot in maybe here, maybe focus up some fire to get a knock onto ATK. But now the zone's going to be moving in, and now everybody is starting to shuffle. You can already see the Gibby domes are being popped as well as everyone's trying to make this rotation. Oh, actually, let's get Volts.
I was gonna say, is that a redeploy? I saw the shield, I saw the Valkyrie, and it's actually happening. So very tiny zone to be doing that, but maybe some good information. And ATK just so aware, keeping their heads on the swivel there to pick up all the rats that are still left into this one, holding some good ground as well with the cover that they've got here for this potentially final zone. And all of the teams now trying to get into some sort of safety. Rejects being one of them, but doing so much damage, taking so much damage, just trying to find an angle to work with here. Mole and Kid Gong alive for now, but for how long is the question? Okay,
it's kind of Kong just swoops on in, ducking, dodging, and weaving the defensive bombardments from outside, and Thomas Moore are still alive right now with 1 player down. ATK are in the bottom over here, taking up a fight. Dust goes down, and now Trashcan has to drop down in to try and help. And there's just everything going down all at the same time here with 3 squads up and remaining. The final zone hasn't closed in just yet, but it's a really tough position. The rejects are still up as well. It was looking a little bit grim for them while they're making that rotation out of that building, but they are alive. 30 seconds now as the zone's about to close in.
And ATK is just watching this happen right now. These 2 teams, they are looking hungry for each other. So ATK just flanking around is going to get spotted there with that Bloodhound scan, but they look to be the third party starting it off. Going to be the first beam coming through from Rixu. Beautiful break there on the Bloodhound, but no knocks just yet as they try and engage this team, as they try and find an opener. The Giddy Domes are being popped. We've got Bloodhounds, we've got Valkyries all trying to deal the damage, and Rejects just in the middle trying desperately to survive at the moment. But for how long? We've got ATK, you've got the team coming through from the sandwich. Here comes the beams and dreams. Mole goes down, 1 more left, and we're down to 2 teams.
Your teams now as Light Desire swoops one in. What a perfect time to third party from the rejects. They only have 2, so they have to capitalize on this damage and make sure that ATK doesn't have a chance to heal. And the shots are flying right here from Haze, but he takes up a lot of damage, and Light Desire really needs to make sure that this shield doesn't go to waste. And look who's coming to swoop in for these kills is none other than Dust Wika coming in with the PK. Trash can follow through with the car. The ATK team is a well-oiled machine. You can't stop them.
Not at all. They had that almost in the bag from the get-go, really playing a beautiful position there, making sure that they were the first team in the zone, and they had the high ground. We said it. It was going to be a battle for the high ground, and they were the first team to capitalize off of that. Beautiful rotations coming through, and just disgusting beams with those flat lines and R301s. Absolutely disgusting. I would not want to go ahead of any of them. But again, you know, they've had a few rough games. I don't think that's happening today.
Yeah, man, it's not looking like that's the case today, for sure. Starting off strong like that. And I mean, what a stellar game coming in from ATK. We got 9 kills on us after that game, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. And you know, it's quite interesting. Dust isn't usually the fragger of just like, you know, any Apex iteration in terms of squad that he's been in. And for some reason here, the Bloodhound player is just dominating it. And I don't know what's the explanation for that right now.
I don't know. Look, the Bloodhounds just coming through, getting the information that we needed. They were, you know, a little bit popular when you started off this gold tier, and they were starting to really grow as we continued those games. And I think now, I mean, all of the teams are like, look, it's just chaos. We don't understand where anyone is at any given moment. We need that added information. We needed that added utility. So I'm glad that it's coming through. I'm also glad that I'm seeing a lot more gibbies. You know, this is a little bit more structure that we were talking about. It's looking a little bit tighter. It's looking like a little closer to what we expect from, you know, esports in Apex Legends. So again, I think the teams are going back to the drawing board, getting a couple of tips and resetting themselves properly for this one. But 2 more maps for these respective groups. And if you just started it off, ATK getting that first one with an absolutely dominating performance. But now who's going to be taking the second and the third? Are we going to have those repeats with ATK, or is another team going to be coming through to surprise us?
Yeah, I wonder if there will be another team coming in to surprise us. A team that definitely surprised me is Thomas More. I mean, wow, shout out to them, right? And if you look at the rotation part that they had to take, they had to start all the way at the top of the map to get to where they were there as. And you got to give it to them. They tried to fight their very best, but we can't look away from the rejects. I mean, the rejects, they were there, right? They had to make sure that even after things were falling into pieces while they were rotating out of that building, that they had to hold it together. And they made sure that they had it together. They made sure they had it together towards the end there. They were able to, you know, just capitalize on all the chaos that was breaking down. And yeah, man, they came through with that second place finish.
I think you summed it up perfectly. It was just absolute chaos there towards the end. And again, I feel like as we started that map already, there was so much aggression. There were so many teams hunting. Literally, I was watching the mini-map, and it's just teams chasing each other for miles and miles, looking to get those eliminations, looking to get those confirmations coming through. So again, I think this is the point where we're going to see a lot more desperate plays. Not desperate, I guess, more aggressive plays, because we want those kill points, especially early on in the game, so that we can get a good platform, lay the groundwork, and make sure that later maybe we can just play for those placements, maybe make it a little bit safer, because it's just about qualifying. Look, if you're like ATK, it's about flexing just a little bit about the beams that we can be throwing out and dishing out the damage, okay? Understandably, they got the experience, they got the hours. For the teams that are a little bit more casual, they just want to get to the next phase, and they're being bullied here by ATK. So we'll see how it's going to be going through. But again, I think we've got a couple of beautiful teams coming through, showing what they've got. I do have to bring up, though, OG going out first team in that first match. You bet they're going to be coming back for revenge in the second.
Yeah, they're going to have to look for some revenge, especially towards the team of Thomas More. I wonder right now, are we going to see them continue to drop there? Are we going to see this contention, you know, play out for these last 2 games, right? Because statistically, you know, if you are dropping contested, right, you do end up in that bottom echelon of the lobby and match afterwards, right? So big decisions that will have to be made over there in the OG camp, right? And now you also have to be looking at a couple of the teams that, were lagging behind, that we were looking at as well, that we thought were going to be a little bit more, in the limelight, in the spotlight. I'm talking about Eddie Axis. We saw them a little bit towards the end over there, but not too much. They got a couple of kills on some of their rotations. MSMK3 caught out in a terrible spot, right? And I said it, I was like, hey, they've got some high ground on this crane, but people can see them, and ATK was one of those teams that could see them, and we just saw Dust punishing them at that position. And I mean, now it's really just mentality shifting, right? Because now you have to just put that first game behind you and move into the next one.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And it's that mental game that you talk about all too often. I mean, for OG, they got the experience. They don't need to, think about, okay, well, what strategies can we take into this one? They just need to be able to deal with a little bit of chaos. Look, we've said it before. We feel like we're watching, a couple of pub lobbies coming through, because it's not quite what we expect when we watch it, because it's right now, gold tier. We still got plenty of casual teams. You still got plenty of teams who are trying their hand at competitive Apex Legends. And some of them are surprising, definitely. Some of them are, needing a bit more of that experience. I definitely do want to see, some of the other teams that we haven't had an opportunity to really dive into and delve into their performance come through in the second match and start picking up and raking up those points. Because, again, you have to be in that top 40. And it is a close threshold. I mean, I was looking earlier today. I think it was one of the teams is sitting on the 40th spot. Is sitting at like, I think it was like 31 something points. Let's say it's 31, just so that my math can pretend. And then as we filter down, it's like 31, 31, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 22. Like it's so close. It's one good game and you make that jump. You kick someone out of their spot and you take the spot instead, which we want to see. We want to see these teams really fighting tooth and nail to get into the platinum tier. So I don't know. If you were watching today, is there any other advice you might give to those more casual teams? How they can be approaching this?
I always say we're looking at what is the tempo of the lobby and who's going to be setting the pace of, the lobby. And right now, after that first game, right, you have to say it's ATK that set the tempo and just the pace of what the lobby was like, right? Because they were fighting the whole time, constantly fighting, right? So if you're one of those new teams that aren't too confident in team fights, especially, it's good to stay away from that now, because you know that they're going to be rotating quite a little bit around the map. If you don't need to take the fight, it's better to just bail out of it, right? And just try and survive till the very end, right? And I think you have to give credit to a team like Thomas Moore, who basically did that, right? You get them landing early on in the beginning, and then straight after that they get their points, and then they just play the slow rotation game, and they just wait it out, just sucking up those points, right? Because the longer they stay alive, the more points that they'll get, obviously, right? And it's not always about keeping up with the pace of what the top team is doing, right? Because yes, they'll be cleaning up all the kill points, but hey, you can still capitalize on those placement points.
Absolutely. And I think at this point, you just have to do enough to get through. You don't really have to be showing all of your cards. If you do have a couple of, maybe some cheesy strats, then you don't have to show them just yet. Just do enough, just do the bare minimum at least to get in. But I think that bare minimum threshold, slowly but surely, is really rising. I'm very impressed with some of the teams that we don't often see playing in Apex Legends coming through, and all of a sudden, these names that we've never had to say before, as you can sometimes tell when I fumble over them, they're coming through and they're putting on an absolutely fantastic performance. So now the teams that were prepared to be in a pub lobby all of a sudden are like, hey, what's this? What do I now need to do? All of a sudden that reset comes through. All of a sudden they might have to show a little bit more of their cards, and you really get them prepped for that platinum and that final league. Get a bit of information. Maybe you watch a couple of the VODs and get a couple of tips. But I like it. Either way, there's a little bit of back and forth coming through. I don't know how heavy of an investment that is for some of the more professional teams. They're going to still be watching and be like, it's fine. We've got players that literally have ALGS experience. So for them, I think they're having a field day. But I really do just want to see some random team just coming out of the woodworks and just taking the win and saying like, hey, we did that in the lobby with ATK, with OG, with all of these other teams. Let's watch us go.
Your dreams might just come true here, ladies and gentlemen, as we're about to launch into the second game here in the EGL Gold tier, powered by Esports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And we'll see what the legends are looking like. See a cheeky Watson, and it was Bamza who were playing that Watson from that last game. Do you remember them making their way?
Little caustic action as well. They were Dark
Oh,
Legacy
yeah,
Gaming.
Zelly changed it up. You want to know why? And it's actually, it's good that they're kind of like anticipating that maybe, you know, based on that lost zone, we might find ourselves in another situation where we have to hold up a building, right? Because if you remember where we found Dark Legacy in that last game, they were trying to hold up a building and check, you know, all these doors and make sure these angles are covered. Whereas with the caustic, obviously you can hold things down a little bit better. And their dream might be coming true, right? Because that is looking prime, potentially for a fragment ending.
Ooh, ow, ow, ow. I think that's just going to be absolute chaos. But as you said, Fragment, one of the spots that we've been seeing quite contested. I mean, it's a popular spot. It will be an absolutely insane ending, so I'm keen for it. They can bring it in. It's going to be cool. But also Climatizer and Epic Center in the mix alongside Overlook and Survey Camp. So maybe just a bit there of geysers. So we'll see how that's going to end up. Again, let's watch this time. Are we going to see some Lava Siphon, you know, love coming through? I'm hoping we do. I'm hoping we do. We do. 80K Esports. There we go. They're the team that's going to Lava Siphon for you, Thendo.
Indeed. They will be landing up in Lava Side. Close to them though is Radix too. They gotta be weary, making their rotation out of the lone side afterwards. And Boss Falk ain't too far off as well. We've got a couple of teams down here on the south side actually. And look at that, fragment not in fragments. What do you mean? That is so odd to find.
You know
a
why?
game of Apex
It's
with no one in
we,
fragment.
we predicted it. Because we said something. It's not going to happen. The zone is literally telling them to go fragment, and everyone says no, thank you, ma'am. We're just going to stick to the southern side of the map. Very happy to work with here.
Oh no, LG seems to be, you know, in that same fight that we saw them in the beginning against, I believe, Thomas Moore up at the top of the survey cap. And I wonder how things are going over there. As we now tune in with Jeeves. Shots are flying from Troy. And OG really need to make sure that they can win this a 3v3 here, as because last time it wasn't too good for them.
Look, it's the revenge cycle coming back, and OG have an experience. They have an opportunity here to make it happen, but Fortune needs to be dodging and weaving with those bullets flying right past his face. At least the Gibby Domes are here to give a little bit of cover, but for how long can OG survive? Just going through there with the Peacekeeper, and all of a sudden, we've got Jeeves going down, the Peacekeeper shots going through, but not connecting. There is the crack, but not quite yet. So much damage being dealt, but not enough. Troy still alive, but for how long? Thomas Moore of
No ways, man. You got to be joking me. Troy is giving everything he can for the team to stay alive. And Fortune just can't find the damage to follow through on those kills at the end there. Still 3 up for Thomas Moore. Oh man, that's just heartbreaking once again for OG. And now you gotta be looking at that third game for them to not just come at a really good placement to get a couple of kills, but really to be winning that game.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's the reset, right? You have that opportunity to get that revenge. You have that opportunity to start this time off not making the same mistakes that you did in the first game. And now, unfortunately, that's going to hit OG again. But we'll see what happens when they come back in the third game. Maybe today is just not their day. Maybe they're going to come back and do absolute performance. But we turn our attention here to Bamza, looking to do a little bit of damage. Coming through, finding, ooh, some nasty little beans coming through here. And Formula 1 just around the corner trying to get involved. Ooh, with that alternator? What are we doing?
Ooh, unfortunate scenes there. As the Gibby goes down and the Prowler over here from Lucid Dreamer is lethal but not enough. At least the follow through now will come through. And Formula 1,
Wow.
really well there in that team fight, man. It looked like things were going south for them. They were just able to coordinate things well, and it's going to be an open-ended finish out there close to that little compound outside of Fragment. It looks like the way this zone is pulling. We saw a glimpse of it from one of the teams that got one of the beacon scans. Eli Axes seem to be involved in the fight and cleaning up a fight actually here as they get some points on the board there.
Yeah, staying alive. And I mean, from that previous game, we had our top three, ATK picking up those 28 points, Rejects picking up 14, and Thomas Moore actually taking 12. You know, obviously with that fantastic start there with the fight with OG. So we'll see if that's going to be replicated here. Ooh, that zone pulling towards Geyser and just Fragment East there by Overlook. That's going to be a bit of an interesting one. I mean, the team of Sparrow, they're already holding the line, and they're going to be the first team in the zone. If they can hold that information. The Rejects here, one of our teams, our second team from the previous map now, finding themselves in a bit of a contention here against Apex Acute. Apex Acute, is that how we're going to be saying it?
Suck! I feel like we need to just actually DM one of the players and be like, yo guys, like, actually though,
can you just
how do you want us to
yeah.
say this? Just a quick little voice note or something, man, honestly. But Rejects now and Apex RQ. Just gonna be at a little bit of a stalemate. Radical here with the charge rifle. Dealing up a little bit of damage, and that should be Thomas Moore. That's down there. And there's a charge rifle exchange right now. Back and forth. Oh!
It's pain. It's
actually just pain. That's actually just pain, dude. That's like you asking Respawn Entertainment, like, why did you guys add this damn gun in the game? And also, it's like, why do you have the same gun as me in this situation? It's just like, man, that's just RNG. That's just RNG, honestly.
The copycats aside, damage being dealt, 13 squads still alive in this one. And many of the teams still having to make their rotations, but still very early into this one. Quite a few shoulder-to-shoulder rotations coming through here, so we might see a couple of contentions going through, maybe a couple of teams dropping as they try to find safety in the zone. And I like it. Look, I really do like that the teams are staying proactive. They're still looking for any sort of early engagements to get themselves set up, like Thomas Moore, starting us off with getting those eliminations, and charge rifle in hand. Where's the charge rifles coming from?
Wonder why everyone's picking up these charge rifles, actually. There's a sneaky new little buff on the charge rifle that we don't know about. Hey, I don't know. The gun's has been OP since release.
They can do what they want with it. It's still going to be OP.
Yeah, man. What do you do? It's like hit scan, and it's just a beam of death, essentially. And some fights over here breaking loose. It's the Rejects who are capitalizing in this fight as the zone is trying to pull in down here at the Love City. Scan goes through from Light Desire. The Valkyrie's on the door and it's gonna be kicking it down. No, not just yet. Actually gonna put this little cell on. Breaks it down. FBI open up, but misses the shot. But the team is in here to just clean it up. No, they haven't been able to. No, they did. Now they're just looking for that lost member on the team, wherever they may be. I'm not legends?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I didn't.
I'm so confused. What's going down here?
But we've got Donut Legends in this contention with the Rejects. But Bobbin coming down. You know it's crazy when the casters are sitting and trying to figure out what's happening here. We're paid to talk and we can't even figure it out. Donut Legends now still up in this one, in the zone though, fighting another squad just around the corner, and we turn our attention to Sparrow, who've done well to survive. Guys are now having to do a redeploy.
Dumbo, no!
Goodbye, Dumbo! Hey, it's ATK. If I saw ATK, I'd be redeploying and getting out of there too. So I don't blame them. Get out of there as much as you can and try find some safety there over towards Overlook. So ATK now all of a sudden taking center zone, saying thank you very much. We're going to keep it. Fragment now looking a little bit contested as well, and the Rejects still looking for these players.
I mean, they gotta start to make this rotation, man. You can't stay in zone for this long because the next one's gonna start to pull in. Yes, there's 2.5 minutes to work with, but hey. Oh well, the redeploy right here is just gonna secure that they should make their way out over here. Donut Legend as well as the Rejects. Formula 1 are close to where we just saw ATK fighting. I was about to mention how Das is always holding a devotion, guys. I'm counting now.
Hey, look. It's a little nutty. You know, when you finally get that beam coming.
He's like the only nutty player with it. I don't want to lie to you.
I would do the same. If I had a turbocharger, I'd also be picking it up. It's lovely. I love it. You know, it's a little bit of a change of pace. It's the closest I can get to a Spitfire without getting a drop. So hey, I'm gonna do what I can do. But I don't know. I was expecting the Rampage personally. You know.
Yeah, Rampage has been pretty lethal, honestly, and there's a bit of a fight breaking loose up there as well towards the tunnel. Outside of where Skyhook is. Boss fuck! Spike sees someone and Spike's like, nah, I ain't going that direction, team, I need you here. It's the rejects who are starting to make this rotation out of Lava City. That's going to be a decoy. Mirage coming in just to give them a little bit more information right now. And rejects get this nice little flank over here from Light's Desire. There's some beams with the R1 coming through. This high ground from Hayes could be lethal. Especially with that scan, he's got all the info and he needs to just line up a really good beam, but oh no, he kind of whiffs it a little bit, has to throw the dome now because he's slipping on down and they're trying to take up a fight, but the team is just running away, so this massive shots aren't really doing too much, and he actually gets knocked in the process, trying to spam the Mirage decoys. Mirage hardly struck against the rejects, who have to just do as much as they can, but thankfully, the duo here of Zero Reflex and Light's Desire, clutch it up. And yeah, Mirage, you know what, man? I mean, if you ain't telling me Mirage is OP, then right there, Hayes has really felt the back end of it. So they still some more action breaking loose over here as Donut Legends are getting involved at the outskirts of Lava Siphon.
Yeah, look, they've been pretty unlucky. They just got out of zone and straight into another fight, maybe taking that balloon just to get on out of there. Hopefully we'll be able to do so, and they have pretty open space where they're dropping, so they're going to be quite happy with that. Rejects just going towards Geyser there, so might be taking a little bit of a longer rotation. And here's ATK Esports looking on at Outlook, and wait, wasn't... Yeah, I thought Sparrow was going to be here, but they're all the way up there past Epicenter. They probably saw ATK running, and they're like, no, thank you very much. We're going to be avoiding that as much as possible. Donut Legends now, though, watching for those redeploys, because that zone coming in, surely there's a couple of teams just sliding on by, trying to find themselves a little bit of space here. And now...
the tunnels as well that it's going to be pulling towards. And right now, the kill leader right now is on the team of Ellie Axis. They're up by 4. Here they are making their rotation through the epicenter, coming towards where the zone is now. And yeah, it's one of those zones where Gibby's going to be crucial, especially if we don't have a spot inside that tunnel, right? And often what happens is only one team will have that tunnel, and if they can hold things off well, they'll be in a good spot. And that team's looking like the rejects as they can rotate through. ATK now looking to be a little bit of a nuisance. Oh, he got to stick through that! What the heck? Hello, Rexwell, big armor crack, but they won't capitalize off it because, hey, it's a bit of a stretch to go for that. But wow, what a stick through the window. Really thread the needle there.
Oh, you could say that again, and the team just literally running into each other, taking the rest of the team almost close out, but ATK still keeping their heads on a swivel as many of the other teams making their rotation here very, very close towards Outlook, and they're back towards the position that they first found themselves in, and there it is, Formula 1 here holding down the building. Have taken a little bit of damage. I mean, that Arcstar was a little bit gross. It was just gross. But that zone is going to be pulling not towards the tunnels, but actually towards just open space. Very, very open space, Thendo. That's going to be horrible for a final zone. I mean, you have no cover to deal with.
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be tough if you don't have that GB on your side. And ooh, some shots now. It's Radix too. And this is actually the team, I believe, that was inside that spot where we saw that Oxstar flying in. And King Caesar takes up a lot of damage before they can throw the dome. It's Rex just dominating in here with the PK. One shot after another, getting armor cracks, dealing damage to Flash. The team's coming in to soup together to clean things up, and that's ATK for you. When they're working as a unit, they can take anyone down. And now they've got full control of the spot, but they're looking to get a crest over here, and it's Formula 1 who have the whole to jump on in here, but they're taking the back end of this attack. Dreamer takes a lot of damage, and Dust with the Mastiff, it just easy with it. Pull it off your one, it's up to Rex, who's the only one up. He's got the HP advantage and cleans it up easy.
I turned into R2D2 there because that was absolutely disgusting coming through from our ETK. And as we've got so many of the teams rotating through to that Geyser, it doesn't seem like they've got the information we do. That zone's not pulling towards Geyser. There's a little bit of that tunnel that you can actually use, but most of it's going to be open and unfortunately very bare for many of these teams to work with here. So I don't know, Thendo. I do not see a very comfortable spot. There's a couple of rocks that we can use for cover, but you have to be so careful of that back line of teams just trying to flank you up. And I don't know, ATK is still looking so deadly into this one. They got all of their squads back up, team fully set and prepped, and they've got absolutely loot to heaven and an opportunity to potentially maybe take a second one in of the day.
Yeah, but look at where Early Access is. You know, Early Access can see everything in front of them. They've got a really good, decent spot towards this next zone. The fact that Donut Legends is also still just up and running and just making these rotations is quite remarkable for me. We saw them in such a tough spot not so long ago, towards the beginning of this game. And now they're finding themselves in a cheeky little spot in the zone as well. So this will be boding well for them as the duo makes their way out here. And I mean, yeah, everyone's going to start to feel a little bit cramped as the zone starts to close in, and ATK starting to make this rotation up, and early access should be, you know, in clear view of this, especially where that care package is. It might be a little bit detrimental for ATK to stay for too long, but for now, everything seems a little bit safe.
Tap, tap, tap away. Ah, these charge rifles, where are they coming from? But the Nibble Mean team actually making it here to top 8, trying to find a connection here with that charge rifle. But again, Mirage is coming out.
Oh my gosh,
He's so confusing. Bamboozles left, right, and center. And look at this. Beautiful line of sight here, potentially, but Kate needs to be careful, taking quite a bit of damage. They're just trying to get some info.
Bamboozle. Oh gosh, guys, can we just ban Mirage, honestly, man, for everyone's mental health?
One for you. Here's another one. We've got 2 Mirages in this final zone, Thendo.
Wait, for real? No,
Yes.
please. No. You're just gonna have some poor players just spamming every single Mirage decoy that they can. A scan comes through here from ATK as they move on to where the Nibble Ming team's position is, and I mean, look, Rhetoric, so he's hungry. He's looking for this kill. He might open this one up. He has an Oxstar. He's holding the discipline. Does he get the stick? He doesn't, thankfully. So they won't be able to move away from that, but they're still gonna swoop in with this. It is the Devotion mowing things down, but not really connecting for all the damage that Dust is looking for. He ends up getting knocked, and as ATK building up too much than what they can chew, it's all up to Rex to try and clear things up, but actually, it's gonna be Trash Can who came a little bit late to clean it up when Rex took down and does. ATK is still up in this one.
Getting close and close every single time. Those engagements are just going absolutely crazy. Turning our attention to Donut Legends here, who are trying to do a little bit of something here. And I think they're actually going up against Sparrow, who I did see close towards, guys. We'll see who actually fighting against Rejects. Oh, taking that rotation out, trying to find a little bit of that tunnel action, which is one of the few spots close to the final zone that they can actually work with in terms of cover. So they desperately need to make this rotation through. The beams coming through. Zero Flex taking down Panda. Now looking for that final. Here is the trigger. One more member remaining. They want to get those confirmations going through. And beams coming out. Where is the last member? Peeky peeky. Where you hiding? But they're going to be running through. And that zone, once again, I mean, we've got 2 rocks to deal with. That's the cover you got to work with.
And look at ATK. So much confidence from the squad as they try and parole around. Yeah, I mean, it's a Devotion. We saw it in action there against that Gibby. It really mowed them down. Now, Dust, a bit of an off angle here while the team is taking up a couple of shots. Gonna pop the ulti as well to get those constant scans. And now, this is where a team like this is at a disadvantage, right? They don't have that ability to just hold that spot. They have to run away from the defensive bombardment. And ATK still aggressing even after that. But it's a little bit of a stalemate just because of how much distance there is, but Dust doesn't really care about this. Dust is still involved and takes a bit of damage. We'll slide out from that. Trash Can also tries to pop a couple shots, but won't capitalize too much on it. And I mean, yeah, this is gonna be a back and forth a little bit, like some trench warfare.
Pretty much. He's going to hold the ridgeline the best, but wasting quite a bit of time taking this fight. But it might be worth it with Trash Can throwing out those R301 beams. They got the first crack, but they need to be careful here because there's plenty of teams scattered around. We still have 5 squads remaining in this very, very tiny space to work with here. So if they want to engage, they need to make sure that they can do it as safely as possible. So here comes the trigger. ATK pushing up onto that ridgeline, looking for some sort of information, but their team just out of there. Just absolutely got out. Just ran away because we do not want to fight ATK with the beams coming through from like this. ATK now looking for anyone and everyone, peeking left, right, and center, Thendo.
Oh, man. It is just tragic for some of these squads. They're just unable to hold their own with all the pressure that ATK is pulling up in the lobby. Early Axes are in a really tough spot right now because Hawkeye needs to get the heal off. At least Cyberstorm and Ekis still have the HP to work with, but those teams that are starting to converge onto the spot, right? Because of the zone closure. And now Ekis takes up a lot of damage, and it's just the Devotion raining down on top of this team as they're about to swoop on in, and here is Das Awika doing what he does best. My goodness, do you even miss? My goodness, he's still going as more teams are just pummeling on top of 80k. It's the rejects now who have a spot and maybe an opportunity to catch them off guard, but no, they're getting backed off. Ooh, they're just gonna have to calm down a little bit.
Absolutely, and then 80k, that's just going to give them a little bit of space here to reset and stay into this one. 3 squads now left remaining. We've got 80k, we've got rejects, and we've got so many teams looking for it. We actually had Sparrow there towards the end. They just got eliminated, but that don't have a team. Now it's a one-on-one, team versus team. Who's going to be taking this win? 80k looking so hungry for it, and here it is. The nade's going to be pummeled into the location. The cracks are coming through, and 80k know exactly what's going to be happening here. Have to reset a little bit for Trashcan, but Dus and Rex can go through and get that confirmation here. Scan coming through. There's the Valkyrie just around the corner here. Beaky, I'm in your shield now. Let's take you out for the counter. Beams coming through. Gibby's still alive somehow, some way. The gold beams are there as well. But who is going down? You know who it is. 80k is going to be taking the win. My goodness.
Honestly, the devotion is just a sended weapon, you know, and you can just see it as soon as you can sense blood and Dust senses it, he just swoops on in and he just goes ham, and 80k come up on top with that win. Back-to-back champions here in the EGL Gold tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And that was a lot of action towards the end there, you know, and 80k just, I mean, what do you say about that performance, right? They pretty much took whatever they wanted. They went into the Nibble meme team's home. They didn't even knock. They just walked on in. They shut them up. And that was just what we were seeing from them everywhere. Even when they got third partied, they still end up winning the fight against Formula 1. I mean, who's stopping 80k tonight is?
That's the thing. They've gotten close. I mean, the amount of times that we've seen 80k down to 1 member remaining, having to solo clutch it out 1v2, 1v3. What was it? 4, 5 times? That they had to do that they had to survive the onslaught of other teams, and every single time they managed to get through that. I think the closest we really got them was actually there towards the Nibble Mean team. I think they were really, really close to potentially getting that connection. I don't know. The thing is, once again, they were about to get third party there by rejects in those final zones, and then they were a little bit distracted there by, I believe it was Sparrow in the top 3. If that didn't happen, you know, 80k wouldn't have had an opportunity to get those shield swaps in. They wouldn't have had an opportunity to reset, but they did. They were left to their own devices. And when you leave 80k, a team like 80k that should have been taken out as soon as you possibly can, they're going to take you for a win. So, hey, Thendo, it happens. I don't know. The only way I see it happening is if a third party comes through right on top of 80k.
And speaking of winners, right, you guys can also be winners tonight, not just 80k swooping through the lobbies. Over here on the EGL stream, we will be giving away an Eve Tech clutch mouse pad. And I know if you want to be hitting those beams like Rexu is right now, you want to be entering, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is the keyword in the chat room, and you can only enter once. Please don't enter more than once, or else you might get in trouble. And it is EGL Apex. And I mean, whew, man, 80k had 28 points coming into that game, by the way, for the evening. So they just probably doubled that right now as we speak after that game is. And I mean, just unstoppable. They're looking tonight. And I keep coming back to the storyline, right, of OG. And it's just because, right, you know, when you are one of those teams that is under an organization and you have obviously the expectations to come and perform, and you're not doing it on the night, it can be a little bit disappointing, right?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of mental backlash that keeps happening because, as we said, you know, the teams coming through here with the experience, they have the expectations on their shoulders as well to deal with, and I don't know. I think it hits that momentum train, and then all of a sudden you get that blocker, and then how do you reset? How do you actually come back from that and be like, okay, first game didn't go well, second game didn't go well, but third game, right? Yeah. That's all you can really tell yourself. So it really takes a lot of experience. It really takes a strong team with a strong mental game to go through something like that and come back and be like, yeah, no, you know what? Whatever. third game is going to be the one where we're going to make a splash. And again, we said it's so close at this point with the gold tier that, you know, a good game, one good game, could be the difference between you going through to platinum or not. The changes are going to be there. And I feel like we just need to remind everyone, if you do want to get that mousepad, it is EGL Apex, no space. If you've been at any of the streams before, you probably know what's going to be happening. So make sure you enter that. I think we've got the draw for a couple more maps, and then we'll let you know who's going to be winning it. But it's a sweet mousepad. I would get one myself if I didn't have an addiction to mousepads.
And I mean, oh man, speaking of addictions, right? I'm still looking at that devotion play from Das, right? Because it's such a characteristic gun right now in Apex Legends for at least Das, in terms of just like, you see, you hear it, you gotta be afraid, right? And that might be a warning sign for some of these teams, right? If you hear that gun, it's time to run away, honestly speaking. And yeah, we saw a couple of good performances coming through. You know, I mean, Rejects made it up there until the end once again, and you can see they're dominating a force. Wanted to see a little bit more from the Nibble meme team, but hey, you know, it happens when you're getting pushed up like that by ATK. Vinco Gaming, the duo, made it up until I think top 8. We saw just one of them being able to rat it up until the very end, but you know, a couple of teams still a little bit asleep, right? MSMK3, where they're at, you know, they were looking good last week. The first game, it looked like they might make something happen, but that second game completely shut down.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these teams have been finding themselves in a bit of unfortunate spaces. You know, some of the teams have been really surprising. I mean, Sparrow making it there to top 3, and they were one of the first teams to be getting chased by ATK when we had that little spat there just before the Nibble meme team, you know, that fight going through. So I feel like ATK has just been the thorn in everyone's side. Like you said, if they hear that devotion, maybe even if they hear, you know, a certain kind of mastiff, there's a little twang at the top with that mastiff from Das, run away. Or Rex, peace. I don't know. I think they can take any gun at this point.
R3, you know what? Rexu and Cheetah Boy's R301 is just is deadly, man. If you watch Cheetah Boy with the 3 times, especially on the side of DNMK, run through lobbies with that R301, you will be fearful, you know. So yeah, it's really just a discussion on how do we close these players down right now, as right? Because that's really what the lobby needs to be focused on in this final game. Yes, it sounds a bit odd to be playing against one team only, right? But if that one team is going to be running around and dominating like that, you need to kind of work as a team within the game with the other teams to try and just stop a little bit of their momentum, right? Because they can't keep going up like this, you know? It's just getting crazier and crazier. And I mean, 3 back-to-back, is it even possible? Because actually right now, with a quick little updated score, ATK has 61 points, and the Rejects have 29 points, sitting at second place. Then after is Eddie Axis at 22. So,
wow. It's Spain without the S there. Okay, so ATK, like we said, the only way I'm seeing them getting taken out is if you've got some serious third party going. I don't know, even maybe disrupting their start, but then we seriously have to have at least 2 teams dropping on Lava Siphon being like, we're gonna try, you know, we might be sacrificed, but we're gonna try and take you out here, because that really would be doing the lobby a world of favors. And, you know, the same discussion there, OG and Thomas Moore, which one of them is gonna disengage from that drop side?
I had to be OG. You can't lose twice and still contest. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that, right? Thomas Moore have all the right to land at that spot, you know, and if OG decides to contest, it's an ego battle. And I mean, it is sometimes like that, right? Because let's say Thomas Moore makes it all the way to the very end in that top 20 lobby, and we also find OG in that same lobby, right? They'll be dropping for the same spot, right? And it's now when you condition teams that like, no. If Ray in this lobby, you stay away from this spot because you will be dying, most likely.
It's pain, Thendo. What we've been saying, it's pain. But also we have to give a shout out to those Mirages. They were really making it work there towards the final stages. The bamboozles were everywhere, and it was actually pretty impactful so far from what I've seen. So I'm going to be keen to see if we're going to still see all of the Mirages. So we're going to see a couple of change-ups coming through here. We're going to be spotting out the composition now shortly. I don't know. I feel like the Gibbies have been impactful. The Bloodhounds have been absolutely insane. We've been seeing a lot of Valkyries as well. That final Wraith portal there, I think it was from ATK. One of the teams trying to get away. Just mid-second they get into that portal. Close, but no cigar, you know. ATK was still chasing you down thereafter. But, I don't know. I feel like the hero picks have been pretty solid so far.
Introducing your champion.
So definitely been solid. Got some cheeky octanes that will be jumping around as well. So that should be fun.
Was that
You see, was it an Ash? I believe we do have a couple of Ashes in
I
the
saw
one. Let's see.
Gibby Wraith Ash. From, I believe it was ATK. It has to be ATK. They were our champions, so okay, no, it's cool. We'll see what happens with that one.
Well, we'll have to just tune in and see if your eyes deceive you.
Probably.
Quick little glimpse as well of what the zone's going to be looking like, which is nice and cool. Ace OG's making that flight direction. Oh no, I'm clenching. I'm clenching.
No, it's them. They want to prove themselves. They want to take the fight once again for the third time and prove that this time they were going to be the champions. So hey, we'll see what's going to happen with it. But I don't know.
I also don't know.
I'm so scared. I don't want to see it happen again. I want a different kind of game. Because OG is one of the teams I would expect. If you want ATK out, we need a team like OG there towards those final zones. We need them to be applying the
Okay, Thomas Moore have decided to not contest.
There's someone else contesting OG.
No, OG's alone, which is kind of odd, right? Like I said before we started. Oh, ATK is down! Oh my goodness. It's Vinco, who seems to be a little bit of a menace over here. They do take down... Oh, well, it's a bit of a tough situation. Yo, I was about to really get hyped over here, like, oh my gosh, Radical and Arson got something going down here, but GG's, honestly, you know. This caught Rexo off guard right in the beginning stages. But now setting up a really interesting storyline here, right? Because now OG doesn't get dropped on. OG knows that Thomas Moore is probably still in the area, and this is why they're pushing right now. They're like, hey, these guys didn't drop this time, right? Because maybe even as Thomas Moore's like, yeah, guys, we did win it 2 out of the 3 times so far. But let's be really safe for this third game, right? We really want to make sure that we can break into that top 3 and just really secure some nice points tonight. So that's going to be something to look out for on the north side of the map.
Look, Thomas Moore, after the first game, they were sitting in 3rd place, and after that second, unfortunately, they've fallen off from that top 3. So definitely agree with you. They want to take a little bit more of a calculated approach into this one, make sure that they get a good set of points, because as we said, you want as much of a buffer going through into those top 40. You don't want to be just on the threshold, I don't know, biding your time right towards the end, trying to find out if you're going to be going through or not. Everyone wants to continue their journey here tonight, so let's see if Thomas Moore can make it happen. But I don't know, some part of me wants to see that OG Thomas Moore rematch. I think it can happen. I think it should be good.
Like I said, we don't know how far the likes of Thomas Moore will go, and especially if we see them in the plat tier. We've seen them probably land with OG once again, but for now it's not happening. They've made their way over here to the climatizer. I think they're still so close to each other. It's kind of just like watching a horror movie, and you know what the jump scare is gonna be like, but you still get scared anyways straight afterwards.
The spoilers just aren't working. we're still on the edge of our seats. But I mean, in terms of like the spread that we have going here, I only see really 3 potential, make it 4. Okay, 4 contentions that we could be seeing there. Guys is also looking pretty busy. Fragment finally getting a little bit of love, a little bit of action. I don't know why it took us 2 maps to finally make it happen, but here we are, getting nice and close towards that one. We'll see if that, with Donuts, Daniel here is going to be spotting out a couple of shots that could be coming through. MSMK3, as there is a difference, Thendo. Going through and trying to find a potential team wipe here, get a good start into this one.
Yeah, it does seem like Thomas Moore is looking to be aggressive towards the likes of OG. There's some shots being popped through. Charge rifle on top of that as well, so they do have that range to work with. Whoa! What a headshot coming through there from Jeeves. And I must say, Jeeves' wingman is, probably top 10 right now for me. Just on the players that I've seen, every time he's got that wingman, definitely popping and cracking those armor cracks. And man, you see the problem with these kind of fights where it's just like back and forth, and you're replenishing your armors and your whatevers, and all these abilities are being used to sort things out.
Oh, Maddie!
Oh, Maddie didn't see that early access was on the side, unfortunately. But yeah, they're just expanding their utility pretty much as, and they're just gonna keep going back and forth. And someone needs to take this fight up, right? Because they can't keep doing this. One's gonna be rotating soon.
Yeah, look, a lot of the teams wasting a little bit too much time in those zone fights. Get into zone, get in a good rotation, and make sure that you've got a good position as it will be coming through. Oh, we're using the triple take as a shotgun here, Thendo. Mentality going absolutely mental here on a tear. Trying to get those knocks coming through. MCK3 now trying to find the team elimination, trying to get that team wide, but in the smoke, it's just too chaotic. We can't quite get find the connection up until that one. Bloodhound left alive, not for long. King Caesar going down. And now MSMK3 have themselves a beautiful spot here in Fragment with that confirmation.
Nice fight coming in there. Mentality does a lot with the Valkyrie to get the high ground and just aggress on towards that. And there's a fight coming through now on the side of Thermal with the early access. Some shots being popped off here by Cyberstorm. Their team squads up. We're still in the early days here. Only 2 squads have gone down thus far. OG and the team of Thomas Moore right on top of each other, and this actually might be the fight, right? Because they're just way too close right now to give up. And for now, only a little bit of damage just being exchanged over here. Ominous holding the edge on the low ground. This portal play could be used from Fortune. He jumps up on top. The beam comes through with the R301. He's angry at Thomas Moore. He wants his revenge. But Thomas Moore also, they're holding up their own. Goes down now. Fortune's weak. And now it's going to have to be Jeeves to do something for the squad to keep them in over here in this third game. He's got the wingman in hand who he's been so good with. And the shots are coming through and he's deadly with it. The confirmation. And this time, Jeeves on top.
There we go, the rematch I've been waiting for. OG coming out on top. I mean, the mental game, they've just won it, Thendo. Getting that revenge there onto Thomas Moore, and absolutely what we want. ATK Esports as well, gonna be starting off with a little bit of a fight of their own, off of the hype that OG has just built up. Oh, that you love to see it. I'm so glad they went back for it.
Yeah, it's a good thing they went back for that one. You know, it would have been so sad as the viewers as well, you know. Not just us casters. We wanted to see it. I'm sure you guys wanted to see it. They've made the storyline lost so far in the group. And now they'll be making their rotation in now, OG. But they've got a lot of traffic in front of them, so they're still going to have to be really careful if they're going to want a good game out of this. Zelly is getting chased down by ATK. And I mean, you're just out in the open. What can you do? There's such duck, dive, and weave. And kind of ducking, diving, weaving for quite a little bit. Actually gets a battery on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you going to survive this Zelly? And just a tiny little bit. Just around the corner. ATK won't let you get away with that one. Oh no! ATK's getting attacked from the side over here. But look at Tas hitting that crack with the headshot, and now the Wraith is like, nope, I ain't having any of that. I need some help from my team. And where is the team? Unknown so far.
I mean, surely you just saw a Wraith getting chased down to the ends of the earth. You'd want to say, no, let's not get involved. But it looks like that's not the case here. A couple of shots being exchanged with no confirmation just yet. A bombardment coming through. And Dust is very low right now. Is going to manage to get just in the nick of time under some cover. And Formula 1, actually the team applying the pressure here, looking to get that confirmation onto ATK nonetheless. But now, we calm down just a little bit. A little bit of time has been given to ATK, so they surely should have been reset and ready to get back into this one. And in fact, they are Trashcan dealing the damage there with the 30-30, getting the connections and looking for a lot more. Just, you see the BTs, just get the connection.
30-30 is such a lethal weapon in the right hands, and first person I think about is Gutbuster. And the 30-30 on the side of Nibble, who will be playing shortly, so that's going to be exciting to see. For now, we're still focused on this game, yeah. This Group B vs E matchup. And the ATK has really been the storyline of the day. But SNMK3 looking to make themselves known as well.
Yeah, they've already gotten a good elimination here, starting it off here towards Fragments. So they're looking very much happy, you know, if they can take another one. That would absolutely just be a plus at this point in time. 11 squads still remaining in this one, but again, it's that conversation of the longer you take the fight, the longer time you waste trying to get into the zone. And early access, quite close to that one indeed. Happy to get you. Nibble meme team, tuning in back into them, seeing if they're going to, make a change this time around, maybe have a better positive result. Hopefully. I mean, they're very close as well, I would say, to 80k, who just had a bit of a contention a while back, so maybe they're gonna get involved and get a little bit of revenge here.
Maybe a little bit of revenge is due. Sentinel on the hands of Emma. Sees a little bit of action, and yeah, I mean, this right here is like when you needed to be paying attention in math to make sure you hit those kind of shots, Quite a distance.
I can't make those shots. I can't do math.
Yeah, nah. I'll just stick to my one-time sights. Thank you. Staging finish, but with a little bit of open space to work with as well. That's an MK3 on the attack over here. Some shots from Fenta, but takes up a lot of damage. And 80k is involved in the mix over here. Nibble Meme team is also close by. But there's shots that are flying through here. It will be enough at least for the trade. And Trash Can's taking up a lot of damage. Trash Can goes down. Is this the end of 80k? Reign of terror, especially with these kill confirmations coming through, and it's all over here. But the master shots are hot and crispy. Hello, is this man gonna win this fight? Yes! Rexu! What do you mean? How does he catch that one?
You are kidding. We've had 80k in such close combat so many times before. Once again, it is the shotgun king for today. Rexu coming through, getting the clutch. And staying alive for 80k to manage once again to reset Thendo from a third party coming through. Once again.
No business at all. Please, he has no business clutching a fight like that. Especially when there's teams in and around the area still trying to third party. So if 80k get up all fully recuperated, what a miracle that would be right there. Or just a burst of talent, and it does look like Apex RQ is looking to get aggressive onto that same spot where he saw 80k, but you gotta be careful because it's 80k! That man is just dead instantly. Hello? What? Rexu, please.
There's an immediate bounce back there. Skatsuka going down. Dust Streaker still out of this one. So 80k taking this up as a duo. Oh no, are we doing the cheekiest of mobile esports coming through?
The team was literally just shooting them, and he just like that. You know what? I'm just gonna pop this roll res. I need to hold me back in this one, please. I'm like,
Thank
what?
You so much. Hey, look, Apex AQ, they're respecting it. They saw the name tags. They saw it was 80k that they're gonna be dealing with, so they're jumping right out of this one. Obvious Gaming getting very close. I believe this is Nibble Meme team for talking about positions here. The wing shots going through. Not quite yet making the connection, but here they surely should be coming. And Hawkeye going down to Fortune, but Obvious Gaming wasting a lot of time here. Early access now trying to find the third. Trying to find the shots. It's just not going. It's just not connecting.
Yeah, really strenuous battle coming in over here from OG, but they're still up on their feet, trying to pop these shots down. They don't have any health HP, but at least the shield will be worthwhile here for Troy. Alright, early access down the man now. They're gonna have to try and pull back into this fight, being held off by OG. Some shots flying through. And there's still a couple of teams that are in the area that could look to third party this as well, so they really gotta be careful. But OG's gonna be the team to be aggressive over here. And the wingman shots this time from Jeeves aren't connecting for any damage, so they'll have to keep pushing forward and won't be able to stop this push just yet. But they're still chasing this one down, OG, but they gotta be careful not to end up in that same area where the team is rotating, because it's just open treacherous ground. And Donut Legends down for the count with only one up. Panda Bubblegum.
Ooh, I do see an 80k and potential Bamza a little fight here, as 80k is right hot on their heels, sneaking up into this tunnel. I got a little bit of information that Bams is right up ahead of them, and if Bams is going for the Vulture, which I can only imagine they are, maybe they're just running away from 80k here. Rexu picking out the shotgun. King can do the exact same thing with 301. There's a Spitfire in play, and 80k are looking to get everything here. Taking that aggression just forward. Does Streaker down with a sliver of help, but here comes the Mastiff, and the Mastiff says thank you very much. Rexu is looking for shotgun kills, and Rexu is going to be getting them. Bamza down to one member remaining, alone. Bloodhound desperate to try and hold on to something, but the shotguns don't lie. The shotguns are going to take you out. 7 squads left. Woo! Thendo, what's happening with 80k?
I mean, wow, What do you even say about them right now? Dominance.
Don't give them Mastiff.
Don't give them Mastiff.
Actually, no,
That's for
don't
sure.
give them guns. Just don't give them anything.
They should just run around with their heirlooms, honestly, dude, and just try and hit everybody because wow. Nimble meme team perched up over here at the top of staging as they're making their way in, and yeah, it's been a quiet night from them once again. They need to find a little bit of action. Panda Bubblegum is still hugging the edge over here, and Nuts Banner is still available at least for rescue, but I mean, just like that, you're found out. Thank you for playing the game. We'll see you next time. Says OG. ATK is close as well, so some heavy hitting squads nearby. Rejects are still in this one as well. Apex RQ just holding things down as a duo.
Ooh, I do like this though, this rotation coming through. I mean, at the moment, ATK, they have pretty much full control of the zone right now. They're finding a couple more fish in the barrel, in the tunnel, whichever way you're going to be looking at it. Rexu once again, 301 in hand. We're hitting people in the air. We're just taking people out in the air now because it's fun.
You know, we were just talking about them holding it down together in that tunnel, but ATK was just on their rotation a little bit faster. Ooh, nice little sentinel shot comes there from Emma. Gets that armor crack. And the zone's in front of them, so they will be needing to rotate in pretty soon. Another nice tag, dealing all the damage here. Trying to farm those evil shields up, especially. Cat takes up a lot of damage. We'll have to hit that Q. They will have to be careful, and she's getting pushed aggressively over here. And who else isn't but Dust weaker? But Dust goes down, biting up a little bit more than he can chew. But Trash Can's in to try and rescue things up a little bit. Trash Can's weak now. Rex is playing from a distance to try and catch a beam off. And now the team of ATK is in a little bit of a tough spot. But what a tactical Q to get both players out at least. And it's all up to Rexu to maybe try and clutch things up and or go back for the res.
It's an opportunity for them, but it's also an opportunity for anyone jumping in.
OG
No,
needs to
this-
press this.
This is an opportunity. This is literally a gift given to OG. ATK still busy getting set up. That Streaker still getting the res coming through. So if OG take this, this is potentially ATK out of the count. The Volt's coming through though, and the Volt says thank you, no thank you. Dust Streaker on a sliver of HP trying to get a bit of a heal off here. And Trash Can is just making space left, right, and center. I don't know how they're still alive.
Oh my gosh, ATK, even coming out of the ashes, they're still burning. Red hot fire here. And OG now caught in the zone, and oh, you bite too much sometimes here. Is what I always say about OG. They get caught on these weird rotations, and now they're on the low ground, and ATK is the team that has the advantage over them, and they're just raining down terror. Over here with 4 squads up. I mean, Rexu's kill leader with 12 kills right now. What a domination performance coming in here. And Trash Can as well, just to boot with the damage. The entire ATK team is just a menace right now in the lobby. It does seem like OG survived just so a little bit.
Oh, Bloodhound Scan, gonna be finding the slinks in the rocks. Gonna be finding the last couple of members to take out. And it's actually OG that they're busy bullying right now, Thendo. Looking to get those confirmations, but there's a couple of other teams trying to get involved and say, no, hold that thought. Just for a second here, Dust Streaker with the wingman getting the confirmation onto Troy. And now OG down to what I believe is a duo, a very hurt duo indeed. OG, I don't know how you're going to get out of this one, but ATK still looking hungry for all of these other 3 squads that are still in this one. Omni is now finding a little bit more than what they'd like to chew here. Dust. Oh, we got a Mastiff. We got a Mastiff, we got a Wingman, and we got a Dust chasing down OG.
Dude, Dust right here, popping some wingman shots, connecting for some good damage, gets the crack on top of it. Rexu is taking up a little bit of damage, so can't really assist Dust from these angles. Dust is gonna have to pull all the way back up because this team is starting to flank on the side of where ATK has not been watching, and it's none other than the rejects, but they decided to pull on back because obviously playing as a duo, they had a disadvantage and they'd rather wait for the third party in this kind of spot. And now we have 2 duos up, a full 3 stack. And the shots is coming through from Fortune to try and get these knocks onto the rejects. And Jeeves does a lot. Fortune pulls back on in, takes down Hayes. And OG are just trying to kill up as many as they can right now in this position so that they can capitalize off these points.
I do not see an opportunity for anyone right now to be taking down ATK Esports. I mean, they are literally just having a field day at this moment in time, looking for everyone. Das getting shield swaps. He doesn't care. He's out in the open. He's looting. He's having a good time. And again, 12 kills. 12 kills is our kill leader right now. And who else do you think it is but other than Rexu coming through here with the clutches and the flatline beams now? Not 301. We got a flatline in the mix.
But it's flying from this flatline. This man's almost on 3,000 damage, and so is Trashcan. This is about to be a dual 3K game for both players on the 80K side. Wingman shots not quite connecting this time for Das. And they're just holding up this space. They're just holding up this area right now as the zone will be pulling in the next minute. And these teams are all in a... But Trashcan goes down to the hands of none other than Jeeves and that Wingman that don't miss from him. And he's still looking for some more action, trying to pop some shots onto the opposite side now. But Fortune goes down and leaves them in a tough spot. They will also get the confirmation now. It looks like Ellie Axis is looking to maybe close this one gap up, especially now that they might have a little bit of an advantage playing from the position that they are in. But we'll see exactly what happens with this TP play, but he falls down. Oh no!
Oh no, look, it's the duo of 80K, it's the duo of early access and what I believe is the solo from OG, all in this final zone now, fighting for that final win, fighting for the final map opportunity that these groups have to pick up the points. 80K not stopping anytime soon, just giving Cyberstorm a hey, how you doing? Oh, hello, welcome to the party. Have a couple of bullets your way, and absolutely just beaming. It is still Rexu alive. Oh, jeez. No. Oh.
Oh my goodness, they just rest Trashcan! What do you mean? They're like, we don't care, we're at full spot. The man picks up a flatline and starts doing damage on top of that. And he acts like, what are you guys doing? What do you mean you're resting in front of our faces? Gosh is pulling up. He's trying on the hit with a freaking axe. Ah, gosh, just send it. Next lobby, please stop it. Next lobby.
You said it, Thendo. Let's just use the heirlooms. 80K hurt you. That's going to be finishing the third map of these groups. 80K take 3 in a row. Let that sink in. 80K take 3 in a row. Back-to-back wins. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, let's just go to the next group, shall we?
Yeah, honestly, it's time to shift up. It's time to pack things up. And if you're not an 80K fan, now you better be one, honestly, because they really just proved it to us that, hey, we had a rough start, but that don't mean we're out yet, you know? And I mean, with the addition of Trashcan pulling up into the squad, yeah, they're pulling up together and they're looking solid, they're looking well. It might catch word to me that someone will have to confirm with me, but Trashcan might be scared. You remember that Mandem scare? It might just be him. I need some confirmation.
Yeah.
But for now, it's Trashcan, and you might have to change that name to Gold Can because you just be hitting every single shot for sure.
Absolutely wonderful. And for those of you watching at home, you can also be winning a little bit of something like we said. Similar to 80K, not quite there, but similar. You can get yourself a beautiful clutch mousepad, of course, brought to you by EveTech. All you have to do is enter EGL Apex, no caps, no space, in the chat, and you could be getting yourself a beautiful mousepad at the end. Still got a couple of games before we're going to roll that giveaway, so you still have an opportunity to enter and make sure that you do. Okay. Thendo, anything else that we can say before we go to that break to just deal with what we saw from 80K?
I mean, it's Nibble's time now because, you know, if we're looking at the next lobby, right, and just how it's stacked up, it's kind of got a similar feel to me where there's going to be this one dominating team, and now we're going to have to see if Nibble can drop 3 back-to-back on the night. It might be a little bit more difficult for them, but hey, guys, we'll catch those games. It will be Group A versus Group F after the short break.
Just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so
Spinning around the redeploy, but no, the shots are just not enough because he can't find a knock and he's just spinning the movement. It's not going to secure him any kill at this point. We're starting off with a lot of action here. Ominous Gaming, we're looking out for them as
on at the moment as well. And we can see the same thing going through here with Reject. So all of a sudden, we're seeing players drop left, right, and center.
Players are dropping left, right, and center. The Valkyrie redeploy. They get away with it just. And look at mentality, how low they are. There's no cover, and while we're saying that, Rexu gets hit by an Oxstar, and ATK seems to be falling into pieces. Dust is doing everything that he can with his PK, but 7 damage, the dreaded number. At least Trash Can is there. We're in angles that are just not in their favor. The rejects look to be sliding on in to try to deal some damage, and they will be able to find the one knock over there onto Nauzelet. And now the rejects looking to just continue this momentum.
Bring it here. Knox coming through, and now they have an advantage here to just take on through. Here's the peak. Here's the knock.
Praise! Oh, but on the opposite end, it's just Dust with the flat line mowing them down. My goodness. That pull. That's just a little bit unfortunate there. ATK dropped down. Take that solo out. ATK starting to try and clean up these kills. That's an MK3 on the top of this crane. I've got some high ground to work with. But is it safe? There's a lot of angles that they're exposed to. But for now...
For many, many more. I mean, yes, there's a team with full, heirloom weapons, but ATK Esports are looking like the team to be really dealing that damage with spikes like that. R301 beams galore. Let's just keep taking a couple more, shall we? To work with here. Mole and Kitgong alive for now, but for how long is the question? Okay,
it's kind of Kong just swoops on in, ducking, dodging, and weaving the defensive bombardments from Albatross to heal, and the shots are flying right here from Haze, but he takes up a lot of damage, and Light Desire really needs to make sure that this shield doesn't go to waste. And look who's coming to swoop in for these kills is none other than Dust coming in with the PK. Trash Can to follow through with the car. Desire really needs to make sure that this shield doesn't go to waste. And look who's coming to swoop in for these kills is none other than Dust coming in with the PK. Trash Can to follow through with the car. The ATK team is a well-oiled machine. You can't stop them.
Not all of a sudden, we've got Jeeves going down, the Peacekeeper shots going through, but not connecting. There is the crack, but not the knock quite yet. So much damage being dealt, but not enough. Troy's still alive, but for how long? Thomas Moore of age.
No ways, man.
Today is just not their day. Maybe they're going to come back and do absolute performance, but we turn our attention here to Bamza, looking to do a little bit of damage. Coming through, finding, some nasty little beans coming through here. And Formula 1 just around the corner trying to get involved. Ooh, that alternator? What are we doing?
Ooh, unfortunate scenes there. The Gibby goes down, and the Prowler over here from Lucid Dreamer is lethal, but not enough. At least the follow through now will come through. And medical here with the charge rifle, dealing up a little bit of damage, and that should be Thomas Moore. That's down there. And there's a charge rifle exchange right now, back and forth.
It's pain. It's pain,
actually just pain. That's actually just... Scan goes through from Light Desire. The Valkyrie's on the door, and it's gonna be kicking it down. No, not just this little cell on. Breaks it down. FBI open up, but misses the shot. But the team is in here to just fight. But the team is just running away, so this massive shots aren't really doing too much. And he actually gets knocked in the process, trying to spam the Mirage decoys. Mirage hardly struck against the rejects, who have to just do as much as they can. But thankfully, the duo here of Zero Reflex and Haze, and if they can hold things off well, they'll be in a good spot. And that team's looking like the rejects as they can rotate through. ATK now looking to be a little bit of a nuisance. Oh, he got to stick through that. What the heck? Hello, Rexu, big armor crack, but they won't capitalize off it because, hey, the one who helped the whole through jump on in here, but they're taking the back end of this attack. Dreamer takes a lot of damage, and Dust with the massive, it just keeps doing it. Hold on to Optio 1, it's up to Rex, who's the only one up. He's got the HP advantage and cleans it up easy. Things down, but not really connecting for all the damage that Dust is looking for. He ends up getting knocked, and as ATK building up too much than what they can chew, it's all up to Rex to try and cut things up, but actually, it's gonna be Trash Can, who came a little bit late to clean it up.
Taking down Panda. Now looking for that final. Here is the trigger. One more member remaining. They want to get those confirmations going through, and beams coming out. Where is the last member? Peeky peeky, where you hiding? But they're going to be running through, and that zone once again
capitalize too much on it. And I mean, yeah, this is going to be a back and forth a little bit, like some trench warfare.
Pretty much. Who's going to hold the ridgeline the best? But wasting quite a bit of time taking this fight. But it might be worth it with Trashcan throwing out those R301 beams. But Dus and Rex can go through and get that confirmation here. Scan coming through. There's the Valkyrie just around the corner here. Peeky, I'm in your shield now. Let me take you out for the counter. Beams coming through. Give me still alive somehow, some way. The gold beams are there as well. But who is going?
Spinning around the redeploy, but no, the shots are just not enough because he can't find a knock and he's just spinning the move.
It's bitter. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's bitter. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever what you call. Let's free fall. In my heart it's bitter. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. In my heart it's bitter. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever what you call. Let's free fall.
I got enough of every melody. They all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it. Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apology.
And welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL Gold tier, powered by Esports, sponsored by HP and Omen. And we are just catching our breath here at the casting desk because wow, wow, wow. What a series we just had there that 80K showed us.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they set the bar, as we've said. You know, they got those 3 wins back to back, and now we're trying to see, okay, who else? Who else can do something like that? And of course, we're going to be moving through to the next set of groups who have some pretty heavy hitters. You know, you alluded to that just before we went to the break. We've obviously got, you know, Nibble Esports, you've got Vibe in Esports in this one as well, and a few other teams that have done pretty well. I mean, I'm looking at Project Rise, I'm looking at Victrix. There's a lot of teams here that we've said many, many times before, but because the competition is so high, you know, is it a possibility that because of that we're not going to be seeing those 3 wins in a row?
Yeah, no, for sure. It can definitely be, you know, a big factor as to why we might not see some of these wins come through, at least in a row, right? Because we're all looking towards Nibble right there to kind of replicate what 80K just did. But like you said, you know, Vibin's in here, you know, we got Project Rise, and oh man, Project Rise is probably yearning for some revenge because the last time they went up against Nibble in a final zone fight, they ended up losing a 3v2. And I mean, you know, you're going to be looking towards, you know, getting a little bit of redemption afterwards. Looking at the team of KDA, Ali, EXO, Lone, I mean, that squad is also, you know, going to be a bit of a problem. So, just in terms of how stacked up this lobby is compared to the last one, I think it's going to be a little bit more tight, right? It will be, I think, a little bit more difficult to see, you know, the likes of maybe Nibble running away with everything tonight.
Yeah, look, I definitely think it's possible. I don't know. I feel like every single time we start off one of these, I'm like, cool, you know, of course it has to be, you know, the main team, it has to be X and X and X and X. And then we obviously had OG having quite a tough time in those first 3 maps, and I don't want to cast this curse again. I feel like it was my fault somehow, but it was rough to watch that happen, and they came through in the end. So this time, I'm gonna keep it neutral. I'm just gonna say I'm excited to see what's gonna happen, and we're gonna have to wait for the first game to see exactly how these teams are playing and what they're dishing out. Because again, I remind you, they are obviously playing to get into that platinum tier. We're still playing towards the end of this gold tier, and players still have to get themselves into the top 40 if they want to move on in, of course, the Apex EGL 1 for Apex Legends. So, I don't know. I think they're just going to do the bare minimum, you know, some of the teams that have to, and maybe we'll be seeing the teams like Nibble, like, you know, Vibe and Project Rise, who decide we're going to flex just a little bit.
Flexing indeed. And, you know, it'll be quite interesting to see how many, you know, full teams we have in this one as well, right? Because that always plays into how these games lean towards and just how exactly the pacing of the games can go. When there's more drop spots open, you tend to find that there'll be less contesting happening. Oh, what will happen in the previous game that people think that people aren't contesting a specific spot, and then we just see contesting throughout. And, you know, we're obviously talking about OG and Thomas Moore if you're only tuning in now. And if you are tuning in now, guys, don't forget there is a little giveaway running right now, right? There is an Eve Attack clutch mouse pad. And if you want to be like these players, beaming and shooting all the gamers in your Apex Legends games, make sure to type EGL Apex, one word. And if you've entered already, don't enter more than once. And yeah, I'm looking at compositions. It's going to be different in this lobby compared to what we saw in the last lobby years.
I don't know. Part of me still wants to see a little bit of that Mirage action. I feel like the Mirage really just came out of, you know, the left lane, and it made some sort of a difference for some of the teams. But when we talked about that first group, you know, we saw a lot of Gibbies, we saw a lot of those Bloodhounds coming through, a lot of Valkyries as well. That Valkyrie-Gibby combo really became prevalent, and it was working out for a few of the teams. And I don't know if they're going to continue that here, but I enjoyed it. I want to see a little bit more of it. Some Octane love. We saw a little bit of love there for Wraith and 80K, obviously running that, what did we say? Ash, Wraith, and I think it was Bloodhound or Gibber?
Bloodhound. Yeah, really aggressive combination that they had over there. And I mean, yeah, it worked out for them in the end as well, right? They were able to just, pretty much run through the ends of that game. And, you wouldn't think a combination like that would work out, especially if how intensive the Gibby meta is, right? But hey, when you're just dominating through that, right? Because Rexu especially was winning fights that he had no business winning on multiple occasions. I was like, wow, there's no ways he gets away this time with it, right? But you got to remember why he gets away with those kind of things. It's people like Dust on his team, right? That just throw themselves into fights and just do as much damage as they physically can before getting knocked down, as well as Trash Can, right? And if you look at the squad of, Nibble, for example, you got Chambi, you got Gutbuster and Tenshi, right? I mean, that is a combination of note. You have two of the best fraggers, in the country, in probably sub-Saharan African region. Yo,
You got it. It's okay. You got it.
English though. On the same team with one of the best supporting players as well, right? In the form of Gutbuster, right? So you just got this pivoting force like this. One's looking in that direction, the other's there, but you still got Gut in the middle, like, whoa, guys, wait, can't do that, still do this. And it just works for them, you know what I'm saying? And I think another team that's got a similar setup is Project Rise, right? Daddy Cool is just someone we always have to mention in the Apex Legends scene because, I mean, he's not only a great streamer, but he sure can play some Apex Legends.
Absolutely. I've many a times had to scream his name in those final clutch moments, especially as the most bizarre characters. He literally has taken up any sort of character, taken up the mantle and made it work. Really a fantastic proficient player and a seemingly just flexible player. Just has to know exactly what to do and knows how to work a character. So very keen to have him obviously in the rosters that we're looking at. And for the rest of what we've mentioned, I feel like we've seen a few of those MBNs. We've mentioned Mayfair, Westonia, obviously also a lot of like console prevalent players, but they're making it work. And yeah, for the rest, I see them here and there. I'm still also waiting for a little bit of that Victrix action. I'm still waiting for, Point One Esports, that have had some good, potential in the past and then just fall short a little bit towards the end. And of course, we've got the first team of Radix. So many teams contesting here. And of course, got to get into that top 40. And for some of the teams who are finding themselves very, very close, they have to know that it's going to be one good game. And then they're there. It's 1 point difference, 2 point difference here and there. And they can make it in.
Definitely. It's the little margins that matter going towards the later stages, right, of this gold tier. And yeah, as the lobby is slowly starting to fill up, and we'll be getting this first game here between Group A and F underway here. I mean, yeah, you're going to be looking at what the numbers are looking like on the table as well, right? Because, I mentioned that DNMK was at the top in terms of how many points that they had accumulated thus far. And after them was Nibble Esports. I believe they had 296 odd points coming into this game right now. I'm not sure if they played yesterday. I'll have to confirm and see if they got some extra points then. But it was a very neck and neck situation on who's right at the top, right? And obviously for a team like Nibble, right, with the sheer arsenal that they have of players, they have to be looking for that number one spot regardless, right? No matter how far ahead DNMK is, this is where they start to prove it in these kind of lobbies, right? Where it's not going to be too easy for them, right? But they're definitely, one of the favorites.
They're definitely one of the favorites, and once again, with that comes a huge target on your back or potentially a huge red flag on your name. Is because as soon as some of the teams might be seeing them, they say, okay, cool, let's disengage. Let's get the hell out of here. We don't want to go up against Nibble Esports. Or maybe we'll see what we saw a little bit towards the end of those last group matches where some of the teams were actively hunting ATK because they were the big dogs, because they knew if they don't take a third-party opportunity against a team like that, they're never going to see the end with that win. And that's, of course, what happened. Because ATK never got those third parties, perfectly timed, because there was no other teams taking them out when they were at their most vulnerable, we saw ATK take 3 wins back-to-back. You need to stop a train like that before it really gets mowing. And Nibble Esports is no exception to that rule, rather. Chambi, Gutbuster, Tenchi. three insanely amazing players in Apex Legends. 3 players that have an insane amount of experience coming through with an absolutely beautiful roster. And we got to give it a shout out there to the Peaky Blinders. So we got the Blind Peakers here. They're going to be paying an homage, and they're going to be trying their best to get this first win and start us off absolutely strong.
And start, it is happening right now as we're about to get into the character selection and to see exactly what we're gonna get. And if I see Mirage, honestly, I might just have to resign on right now.
We love it. It did so good. It's like the devotion of the characters.
Devotion of the characters. All right, someone quote is on that one for the next time.
Look,
But-
it made an impact. As much as we don't like it, and it's an odd choice, it made a huge impact. So, I don't know. I feel like those odd characters that you're not expecting really do throw you off, especially if you're, let's say, a professional team used to a little bit more structured Apex Legends.
All right, well, here's the character selection. We're going down right into the crux of things, and we'll see what the first picks are looking like. We've got the Valkyries coming through there from A50, Bloodhound from Ranger David, Blake's also looking at the Valkyrie, Tenshi on Gibby.
Okay.
I love me a good Tenshi on Gibby. He's definitely one of those more aggressive Gibby players. Got Busters playing Valkyrie. And now, okay, he's trolling. He's trolling.
Oh.
He's trolling. Champ is trolling. Come on, man. Pick someone else.
No.
He's not trolling. All right.
No. So we got a bombardment alongside that assault coming through from Bangalore? Okay. No, okay, cool. Whatever. It's fine.
You know what? We'll see exactly what happens, right? Because, hey, we're not Nibble. We, don't have exactly the insight of what's going down. And maybe they've read things differently to us casters here. But with that, guys, we're launching in, and it's going to favor a lot of teams that like to drop close enough, and especially will the zone be favoring those teams as well. See if there's any contentions. We'll keep a close eye and try to call it out. We do see the team of Project Rise getting the full of the staging area up towards themselves. And then there goes Nibble, making their way down to either Lava Siphon or the Dome. Climatizer is going to be hot here, it looks like.
Yeah, once again, we saw that in some of the earlier games in this gold tier. The Climatizer was just so heavy, and of course you've got that opportunity to get some sick loot there. So we've got, of course, Victrix Gaming and some damage.
Joker. Why would you fly up? Oh, you just literally, that game that everyone plays as a kid, the one with the ducks that fly and you shoot it, and you got the with the TV screen and the fake gun. It was just one of those moments for me. Relive my childhood a little bit,
But either way, Overlook now starting off a little bit spicy here with Rogue going down. And of course, we've still got plenty more teams coming through. The revive is going to be happening while Pure Paragon is looking for that opportunity to get into the fight again. So Rogue is back up and dodging and weaving through the Valkyrie ultis there. Somehow, some way. Sloth is also going to manage to stay alive, but here's some Arc Stars roaming around, and they are making connections to Rogue.
Jetpacks don't grow on trees.
Pure Dragon still on this one, and slide around the corner here. Zorix with the rampage, and it's just getting the kill confirmed on that one. Doesn't get a knock on. It has taken up a lot of damage, and so it will be still a tough situation for them to maybe clutch up here. Sloth just trying to run, and there's no real cover to work with, but they hold on just for a little bit, the heroes. And Pure as well, getting a little bit of distance, and this sentinel shot might just be a game changer right here. Oh, that was just juicy,
I mean, thankfully we've put the charged rifles away, we picked up the Sentis, and we're beaming with them. Turning our attention here to Victrix Gaming, finding themselves in a little bit of a fun time. Like we were saying, Climatizer was looking pretty heated, and of course they're actually finding themselves going up against RTO Gaming here, who would love to have a good start into this one, but Victrix looks a little bit hungry for it. Taking quite a bit of an aggressive shot, triple shot. Not going to be making it just yet, but RTO Gaming still on all blues, looking pretty kitted for the time being. And Elite Dragon just on that bridge line, looking for someone somewhere just to pop out their head. You know, we just want to give head pats. That's all that wants to happen.
RTO is one of those squads that can hold up these kind of 3v3 situations. You can see just the experience hugging each other in that building to make sure that no one is caught out. Just really dragging, trying to pop these shots with the R99. And so far, just a bit of poking here and there. The only real big fight that we saw was that Overlook, and that one still isn't even finished. But, this Climatizer fight just might take a turn for the worse here for Victrix if they're not too careful. But for now, it's all good. And I mean, the team of RTO are really just holding things down. They're not taking as much damage as they're dealing.
Yeah, that zone also coming through, pulling towards countdown. So unfortunately, for both of these teams, the longer they let this fight go on, the more time they're wasting for that rotation coming through. And Victrix now just pulling on a little bit back. Ulti's going to be coming out, and now RTO Gaming, it's their turn to make the aggression and take on this approach to Victrix. Nice couple of shots they're going through on the zip line, not making a knock just yet, but doing the damage. And there's a Mastiff involved, Thendo. We know what happens when there's a Mastiff involved, going through RTO Gaming, looking to get this confirmation.
They're looking to get this confirmation. The TP play was made over here by Falcro, and now they'll be away. And now they have the high ground to work with over here, Victrix. So they're in a little bit of an advantage, but not HP-wise. The HP advantage is still in the hands of RTO, who are aggressively pushing up to the top of this hill. They really need to be careful very soon. And the beams from Jazz over here are looking good. The nades as well flying in to just do as much damage as they can. Victrix is trying to back off as quickly as they can. But they pull up onto the roof, the beams are flying through, Limitless takes a lot of damage, and now it's Dodge with the car. But Dodge takes up a lot of damage as well, and he has to just hold things up. There's no knocks on either side just yet. The massive shots are flying through the door over here. It's actually RTO who are going down, and they were looking so good to start off things over here and Victrix up to one player. It's all up to A50 who's trying to jump over this knockdown shield. But looking behind here, you don't see the door frame. Limitless, no!
Oh, that social awareness there, that situational awareness, Sani. Unfortunately, A50 is just too good, knows exactly what they're doing there with the buildings and are going to take that through. So Victrix Gaming here going to be winning that first engagement and now have the opportunity with some great rotations and some great loot to get themselves into the zone. Okay, so we've had one team go out so far. We have so many more making their rotations into zone shoulder to shoulder. 13 squads left, and yet they are not quite... I don't know, they're just not engaging. I feel like so many of the teams are right up next to each other. I mean, we've even got Point One Esports alongside what I believe is Vibin, looking for each other, hungry for each other, but nothing's happening here. They're getting the engagement, and they might even be getting a third party coming through from EGL Apex.
No one wants to give it up too early, right? It's still first game, so you still need to be cautious, especially not knowing what kind of rotations people will be making. And you've got a glimpse of where that zone will be going as well, right? So these Skyhook teams aren't too safe. They're gonna have to make their way out. Shots flying through with a rampage. They aren't gonna be able to capitalize and find a kill. And I mean, yeah, everything's just a little bit stale for now as shots are just being exchanged here and there.
Yeah, you know, it's sharing is caring, but in the most violent way possible. I kind of like it. Taking through now. Ooh, Mayfair. We've got charge rifles in hand. We're looking for a little bit of damage here. Once again, the gun that Thendo hates the most. He has nightmares about them, and that's exactly why we've got a couple of connections there. But equal exchanges that are not looking too favorable for a couple of teams here. Project Rise on the lookout might actually be getting involved here with a couple of teams trying to rotate in, and Magistron getting a beautiful beam, trying to get that knock. It's nearly there. It's so close, but it's not quite making the connection. But Project Rise surely should be taking this line, Thendo. Surely they want to go for this.
They do want to go for it, but it's far, man, you know. They just can't make that stretch and give up this good positioning that they have, especially since they've scanned Beacon. They know the longer that they can hold out the spot, the better that they will be. And zone's not putting too far away from them in the next zone, obviously, with that feed. Oh no, NBN stuck in the zone. Okay, they're fine. They're just on the edge. Thought they were a little bit deeper than that, but they'll be able to walk up in from the harvester.
Look at that zone pulling towards Lava Fisher there, right on top of the bridge. A little bit of damage, a little bit of opportunity to work with. I mean, in terms of cover, and of course, Nibble Esports might be one of the first couple of teams to get into there alongside Project Rise. So this might be quite a little fun game along with Drip Apex as well. So we're keen to see how that one's going to turn out. And of course, we were talking about Vibe and Esports earlier on. Hopefully, we're going to be getting an answer to this little fight that's been going on for quite a while. I feel like since we started dropping on the map, they've been here in towards Skyhook, just trying to find something to work with. And many of the teams actually making their rotational path right through Skyhook. So Vibe and Esports going to take the opportunity just to get out, redeploy. Nice little opportunity for them to just disengage and get into zone, prioritize those placement points, which I kind of like. I like that they're just making a calculated decision here, but oh, where are we dropping? We're dropping dangerously close to Drip Apex.
Very dangerously close. They need to be careful in this position. Drip Apex is wise to it as well. They're just trying to hold things down. And Nibble here now. With the Bangalore. Still like, alright, cool. Here we go. But it looks like they're trying to swoop into a fight, and it's now Tenchi with the Arthur 1, finds the crack onto the Octane. The Octane peeks while he's not looking. He was lining up an odd star. The door opens there, and it's actually going to be Champion putting on him. And Champion with the Arthur 1 does a heap amounts of damage, yeah, and they're just going to clean things up, and Nibble doing Nibble things.
Yeah, goodbye to Mayfair there, but you're talking about Nibble. They need to be very careful because we might be having both Drip Apex and Vibe pulling up on them, trying to get a little bit of this piece of the action. Vibe and Esports first, though. They need to deal with Drip Apex, I believe. A couple of shots being exchanged here, and not going too well for Vibe just yet. Now, of course, Nibble Esports, they've had the opportunity to reset themselves, and we've seen this play before. I don't know, I feel like every single time I see a Chambi, I see him in the spot just going absolutely crazy with shotgun, so I don't think anyone wants to be finding him down that Koroway. You know, you see someone at night with a shotgun, you don't want it to be Chambi. That's the last
look
thing
at Nibble right now. They're really aggressing onto the spot, né? But just from below. And if they climb up over here, no one spots them out, they're gonna have two teams in front of them. And he's Chambi in that very position that's really dangerous as the beams fly through, forcing the dome. The ulti's gonna come down, the rolling thunder. The wingman shots on top of that, just dealing a lot of damage to the team that's inside the building. And Nibble are looking to just walk on in here and aggress the situation. Arc stars are flying, and they just try to clear all these angles, and it doesn't really seem like anyone's close by. They're all stuck in that corner as they try to swoop on in. The Mastiff, and it's Project Rise.
I said it, but KOA just around the line. They were doing the damage to Project Rise. They were in the engagement.
No, get killed on the zip line. Oh no!
Coming through with the third party and finding it a knock there right on top of the lava. So that damage is just going to keep ticking away. And Nibble Esports not looking to stop anytime soon. Valkyrie, run away, fly away, do whatever you got to do, but get into safety. Nibble Esports on a bit of a tear here, and Chambi again so dangerously close, but look at it, no hesitation, looking for KOA, looking to take them out.
And I was wondering when they were gonna dial it up, you know, Nibble. It was really quiet in the beginning of the game, and around about that time we were already starting to speak about 80k, and now it's all Nibble on our mind, and Chambi's taking a lot of damage, and he has to try to back away from that one. But look at this, over here from Point 1 Esports, it's just a rampage! Raining down terror. Will they be able to get that knock? Not quite yet. Ranger David can't follow through on that one, and oh man, they're just stuck in a tough spot. Nade spam after nade spam. The Gibby goes down. Radioactive Ali and Point 1 Evesports now looking to take out KOA.
Yeah, look, KOA, they've been running for hell or high water, running for the kills. Firstly, trying to disengage from that fight there with Project Rise. Now, you know, Nibble Esports just jumps up right on them, gets that third party. And Point 1 Esports have taken up the little bit of damage that they have. But here comes Tenchi with the Mastiff deciding, you know what, I like this building very much. Can I pay the rent? Actually, you know what, I'm just going to own the whole damn building with Chambi here. Thank you very much. That's going to be it for Nibble. They've got great positioning here in the zone. But, I don't know. I feel like every single time they're finding a team, they're just like, we're just going to take all of that. All of that, what you have, it's ours now.
This nasty man has 700 damage. And I bet it's just all from the charge rifle, honestly. That's what I'm saying. Vibin just holding things down, not making too much noise. Besides those couple shots flying through, holding their position. And BN on the edge of the zone. They spot the team down on the low ground and they're maybe looking to get these kills down. This is a Watson team, it looks like. I see some fences in there. So that'll be quite interesting. Neo, Nye, and Blake. It's a good squad, you know, when they can get their rotations together. In this kind of situation, they seem to be on a good side of the rotation, right? Not too much to travel in front of them. They got a lot to work with. How is EXO still alive? How are they still living in this situation?
You said it! You said it! Why did you say something? Nibble Esports were just waiting for that, Thendo.
Yeah, 8 squads now as well. It's the team of Roy who was stuck down here. They did have to redeploy, but it'll be really dangerous to try and get it from this position because they will have the headshot angle over there at the top in the end. Oh wait, they pushed on down over here. Wait, the Gibby's been stuck. Neo is gonna have to be really careful, really weak, and they might just push up on that. But Nye is gonna be up just to hold off. Let me push thus far. Neo can try to get some HP back in. Blake holding a cross angle, and look at Nye. Nye's putting on in wingman shot. The nades though. How are they connecting? Isn't they supposed to be a pylon? But the pylon don't matter because the massive shots is all we're talking about. From Nye here. My goodness, he just walked on in there and said, hello, it's my house now.
New bit of real estate coming through here for some of the teams, and Vibin Esports, one in the same, trying to hold down the line here, just on the edge of zone, gatekeeping one of the teams trying to get into safety. Gibby alone and afraid, and Flesh at the moment, no shields to work with here, and I'm ready to get a bat off and then run straight into Alphon. Nothing really I can see going on here, but they might disengage because that zone pulling all the way down there towards the bridge and actually favoring here the team of NBN. Who just come off the high, but let's turn our attention here to Drip Apex, who are in a world of hurt, a world of nades as well, and instantly we are out for the count. Thanks to Alphon, who said thank you. I was waiting for that one. 5 squads left.
Alright, this game's pacing is quite odd. It's just these bursts of action that happen, and then there's these lull periods, and then quick bursts of action, and we're in one of those lull periods where pretty much all the teams that could get caught out on rotation have been caught out, where there's still a little bit of a skerfuffle happening over here between Point 1 Esports and Nibble. And Nibble are on top of the high ground with Point 1, look to have dropped down the defensive bombardment, and Nibble can aggress on towards this. Ooh, takes a bit of damage there from the edge of the doorway. Oh no, Tenchi, don't do it to him from this nasty little angle, but he can't find anything. They're on the opposite end. They're on the other side. Gunbuster and Chambi are still playing together. And they really need to clear the squad very soon, right? Because the rotation has to be on soon from both teams if they're going to hold up on this position.
Yeah, Nibble just investing a little bit of extra time here, maybe to see if they can get this confirmation. And I mean, as you said, zone has to come through, but they might just enable themselves to get into zone, trying to get disengaged with that one. And as they do, they take a little bit of damage, but they need to be careful. They might rotate themselves right into, I believe it's NBN, right neck and neck right now. So this might be a little bit of a fight as it goes down.
Chambi gotta be careful, he's really low there. The snare almost comes through towards his direction, but he'll be fine. There's a rolling thunder going down right now. I believe it has to be the likes of Chambi's, just to stop a little bit of that pressure that they were feeling. NBN is involved in the situation now as well. Point 1 Esports, this low ground. And NBN has a lot of room to work with, but Neo's getting beamed from probably the likes of Nibble from this angle. There's 5 squads, right? So this is a top 5 situation for most of these teams, and they're probably looking to at least finish in that top 3. And now Nibble are trying to make this move, right? Because the zone is pulling on in. There's a defensive bombardment that's going to be dropped down. Point 1 Esports at least going to be safe from this, but not NBN, as the Nibble Esports try to move up.
Oh, so many teams here in this northern side, and look at Nibble Esports, look at Chambi putting up so much damage being dealt. The snare going through as well, and NBN have just taken out Nibble. Am I seeing that right?
NBN, I said it just now, that this is a really good squad when they have a good side of their rotation. and there they go capitalizing off Nibble. But look at Victrix coming in to ruin things over here, and Falcro pulls in with the Arthur one, doesn't find much damage, has to pull out the PK, and nice, Mastiff is just better in this situation, and now they're down to a disadvantage, but a 50 with the Spitfire is going to do as much damage as he can, and they've just taken them out as well now. Third party after third party, and Point 1 Esports just sitting at the bottom, like now we ain't getting involved, and it looks like Victrix is getting attacked again, but don't drop down there, because there's a squad. 850, he's just trying to fly away and stay alive as long as he can.
Yeah, Vibe and Esports did take that early deployment right towards the southern side of the zone, and they got a great position here. Victrix down to 850 Gaming now, trying to hold the line. Point 1 Esports getting involved as well. Bombardment's going left, right, and center, but somehow they stay alive into this one. And everyone chasing left. I don't know, they're just chasing at each other now. There's so many rats going on. There's so many teams scattered across. That confirmation should come through. We still have 3 squads remaining, 7 players left alive. Down to what I believe is Vibin, Point 1 Esports, and of course the amazing solo that's somehow still alive. At least was.
Why'd you say it?
Gaming.
Why'd you say it?
Yeah, you did it too. Hey, come on.
850 goes down to the hands of the Costas Curse. And now Vibing on top of the high ground. Defensive bombardment a bit premature here because they've got a lot of cover to work with, and there's still so much time for this zone to pull on in. And I wonder what this is gonna be. Is this just gonna wait out the zone? Or Vibing gonna take some initiative here and just try play a little bit aggressive? No, Point 1 Esports to play aggressive and comes through with the Kraber shot. What a shot to open things up here! And now Vibing are in a really tough position. Alphon has to put up a lot of damage here, and now they can move up here. It looks like the Wraith player is just caught out in the open zone. Gotta be really careful as the Ranger David and Belzy come on in to try to assist, but the Gibby gets stuck. It's just carnage everywhere. Who's gonna end up winning? Ranger David up on his feet alone, but Vibing Esports, even after a Kraber knock, they still hold their ground down and win up the game.
Woo! I thought it was gonna go some way, some other way, but we had that race coming through. The Gibby with the golden backpack was there, made it work. Vibing back on their feet, and they made it happen, taking the first win of the day of our second set of group matches for Gold Tier. Woo! Starting it off fantastically. I mean, they were one of the teams we were looking out for. We wanted a little bit more action coming through from them, and they really made a statement here.
One would say that they're vibing right now. After a win like that. And I mean, whoa, there's so many talking points coming out of that game, right? As you know, it's just like how well that Vibing was playing. And I was noticing this, you know, they were playing like a team that understands that rotation is king. Based on how much damage that they had, plus they didn't have any kills. They were just making sure that teams weren't rotating in front of them, just popping off some damage here and there, just to show their presence. And as they started to move in, they were just trying to capitalize off these third parties. And then we had Nibble Esports, who just looked like they were going to win the game, right, at a certain point in time. They were just running and steamrolling everybody until they picked the wrong fight, the fight where they ended up in that building where we saw Project Rise. And they just got stuck in that spot. NBN finally takes them down. And then we have to think about NBN. They were just holding on for dear life. Victrix comes out of nowhere. Insta third party from Vibing, right? So honestly, it's just a masterclass of waiting things out from Vibing Esports.
Absolutely. And for those of you watching at home, again, if you want to have an opportunity to win that EveTech Clutch mousepad, then you can still enter. You still got a little bit of time left. Probably going to be rolling after the second map, or who knows. But either way, make sure you enter EGL Apex in the chat. If you've already entered, don't do it twice. Just do it once. We got you. And make sure that you get an opportunity to potentially take home a very, very nifty mousepad. Now, second map of the day for these groups. They've gotten their warm-up. You know, Nibble Esports, I feel like what happened to Nibble is what we kept waiting to happen, you know, to ATK. Every single time they take that third party, they have just a little bit of time to reset and get into the next one. Nibble, on the other hand, they got rushed with 2 teams, no time really to work with, and they were taken out quite swiftly. And NBN, I thought it was going to be theirs. I really thought that they were putting on the performance that I would expect from those champions. Just didn't come through.
Yeah, you know, I really thought so as well. But what can you do when you're getting instantly third-bodied, right? It's just like, you know, They come off an amazing fight, holding Nibble out on that rotation, and they've got a good spot because ultimately that is the winning spot, right? And that's why everybody was looking towards it because you had that high ground to work with, you had that little bit of cover with that train card to also assist you. And I mean, yeah, it was just Victrix coming through. And the team we really need to look at now is can these teams, right? Victrix, NBN, right? And the team that just went down in that final fight, the name is eluding me for some reason. It was Point One Esports, right?
Yes.
They've shown up. You know, they've made it to the very end. They were reading the rotations well. Are they going to be popping up again in this next game, you know, towards that end stage? Or are we going to see the names that we didn't see, right? The likes of K or A, who we thought were going to last a little bit longer, but, you know, they ended up going down. RTO Gaming, they had a really good squad, right? Coming into this one, if you look at how they're looking, and they didn't really perform. I mean, yeah, as what's really next in this lobby, it's hard to predict because I don't think anyone would have expected Vibing to win that first one.
I also felt like we just kept seeing all of the teams chasing each other one by one, resulting in this ripple effect where we had so many of the good teams that were really performing just getting taken out bit by bit. You know, they were extending a little bit too long. They were waiting and investing into the fights a little bit too long, and that led to, you know, this absolute chaos there towards the end. As you mentioned, action, then nothing, then action, then nothing, then action. Yeah, look, so we've got Nibble Esports. Team absolutely amazing and have performed really amazing. They were so proactive in their fights and they were dealing some ridiculous amount of damage. Vibe in Esports, with of course that champion, they were the first team to take that rotation. You know, we had so many of those teams towards that northern side of the zone, fighting it out, duking it out, and as you saw, because of that, they took each other out basically. And Viben, because they made that early rotation with the redeployment, that's really where that Valkyrie starts to shine. They just had to just sit and watch and wait for the opportunity to get into the action. So I think the main thing for some of the teams to focus on is when to take those investments, when to invest into those fights, if it's really worth it, especially towards those later parts of the zone where you're getting yourself caught in the sandwich. And of course, rotations. As Viben has just proven once again, getting those early rotations, getting yourself a fantastic angle to work with and set yourself up for that final zone. That is what a champion setup is going to look like.
Yeah, it really is just about getting yourself towards that final end game. And that's when the real Apex starts. You know, that's when the comms get really loud and everyone is screaming at each other. And we're gearing up for this next game, ladies and gentlemen, here at the EGL 1 Gold tier, powered by Evesports, sponsored by HP and Omen. It's been an exciting night thus far. Both Ez and I have been pretty much screaming at the top of our lungs with just all of the action that is going down. And, you know, I think for me, Gibbies have been so pivotal in just how the games have been going tonight. Ez, wouldn't you agree? I mean, without some of these Gibby plays coming through. I mean, you said at the end there, wasn't that a golden backpack rest from a Gibby that ultimately guaranteed the clutch for Vibing?
Look, I was sitting and I was staring at it. I was just watching my screen. I was like, there's no way this is going to pop off. There's no way this is going to pop off. And there it was. And that is the reason we saw Viben taking what we can confirm now, 20 points in the first game, with Nibble Esports taking 17 purely off of basically eliminations, and Victrix coming in third place with 13 points. So that little bit of difference, that last second change with the Gibby, the shield, golden backpack, you can't ask for a better combo.
Yeah, man. And I mean, if we're looking at, is Nibble bringing the same energy that ATK had? Sort of, but not really, right? Because, yeah, they were capitalizing on a lot of these skills, but placement-wise, they didn't do too well on that one. So I'm sure they'll be looking towards fixing and shifting that one up. No real big contestants of the drop spots, if my memory serves well. I think more rotations where people were starting to fight and starting to collide.
Yes.
So, you know, it was quite smooth sailing for a lot of the teams. There's a lot of room to work with, right? It's not too full of a lobby as well. And yeah, like Project Rise, I want to see Project Rise come back. You know, they were in a tough spot. Ultimately, they were getting pushed on. They were in that hot spot where like all the teams want to be. So, you know, sometimes it can be at a disadvantage playing that early rotation, having that early game positioning from the beginning, because that's where they were pretty much Lava Fisher the whole time. That's where they landed. and everything just went south. As you know, you have to absorb all the pressure from these teams just colliding on you.
Pretty much. And you mentioned that there wasn't too much craziness. I mean, I remember we obviously had that little bit of a contention with Victrix and I believe it was RTO Gaming there towards Climatizer. Skyhook, we also had two teams that, stared each other down for like 10 minutes and then we decided to do something about it. So it wasn't too crazy. We had a couple of eliminations in the beginning due to those rotations coming through, due to teams, as we said, hunting each other down. But it wasn't too crazy off of the start. And I don't know now if we're going to be looking at some of the teams who didn't have such a fantastic first game, if they're going to be looking to change up their drop sites here. And, if you had such a peaceful start and it went so badly, what are the changes they're going to make going into the second map?
My biggest change right now has to be that Bangalore pick. Like,
You really don't like that Bangalore pick, eh?
Dude, I'm a bit like Shiv is great, right? We all love Shiv FPS, and Shiv makes it work in the ALGS Pro, Pro League, and you can see the advantages of definitely the Bangalore. But had they had like a Wraith in that situation, things could have been different. Because now you have a portal to get out of that building, right? To reposition. And now you're starting to think to yourself, bit of an odd one. Last week they were playing crypto. So Nibble's trying everything, right? It's still gold tier at the end of the day, right? So you can be a little bit more experimental with your composition so that you can see what works out, especially for the likes of a team like Nibble. But now looking towards this character select, second map here, guys. Oh, man. I just want to see some of the teams make some good decisions right here because this is where it starts, right? If things weren't working with that first selection, maybe it's already time to change things up.
Yeah, look, so we said that, some of the more experienced teams, some of the teams that are really bringing in the points at the top of those leaderboards, they can try a couple of things out. They just need to get into the top 40 to make sure they get into Platinum. So they can relax a little bit, they can have a little bit more fun. Good to see those champion picks coming through, and Thendo is just waiting to not see a Bangalore.
Oh, Loba. Oh, no.
I see a Bangalore.
I see a Bangalore, but two Bangalores, actually. And it looks like She-Dog Cloud9 down there is also playing the Bangalore. They've also got a Horizon on their team there, so Radix.
A lot of Ash picks as well.
Yeah, that portal is really good, honestly, man. Right? The disadvantage of the Wraith portal is you actually have to traverse and make that distance. And with that, you can be shot. If you don't have a good Q timing, you're going to take a lot of damage. And the advantage is you just look in the direction you want to teleport and you get there. You do have to do a little bit of aiming with the way that that thingy works. But it's an instant TP, it's an instant way out, much more than what Wraith offers.
Yeah, so, I feel like it's a little bit of an upgrade to that Pathfinder zipline. You don't have much of that range, but it works really nicely. I'm an Ashe fan, so it's very hard for me to be objective here. But let's take a look at these drop sites. Taking a look at it, I'm not seeing too many big changes. Still seeing Chambi and the rest of Nibble Esports heading there towards Lava Siphon. Might have a little bit of company that they're just saying hello, how you doing? Which is, of course, I believe NBN. Just going right past there towards Big Maud. And yeah, Climatizer once again. We've got Victrix and RTO Gaming having the showdown to try and prove who's the better holder there of Climatizer.
Like we always say, if you do get contested, you do have to take the fight up, right? Because it's about conditioning. And the only way to condition a team is to not run away from these kind of situations, because ultimately it also griefs you, right? Because when it comes to sharing loot up in a drop spot with another team, you'll always be at a disadvantage. You'll be walking away worse for wear. And Epicenter survey, if a fight breaks out in any of these locations, it's gonna be worth it for the most part. And everything is calm, cool, collected. We see Project Ride, just a staging again. Nova Siphon, Nibble on top of that. And calm right now is, but sounds like there's a little bit of action happening.
Yeah, RTO Gaming once again trying to, prove that they belong in Climatizer, that it's their spot. No one can take it, especially not Victrix Gaming. So once again, getting themselves set up. They look pretty kitted, I mean, for the time being, at least for that initial engagement. And on the side of Victrix, oh no, I take it back. Victrix are the ones currently kitted. Elite Dragon with that 301 and a purple shield, having a good old time. But now, how do they take this fight on? Does look like they're actually disengaging from this, Thendo, which I think is a good idea. Maybe just leave the fight for now, take the balloon, get out of there. Or maybe still looting up.
Seems to be looting just a tiny little bit. And I mean, at least dispersing away from the rest of those fights does make it easier for them to third party if anybody decides to fight any sooner. Hello. I'm trying to notice that, yeah, Drip Apex is right below this redeploy. I'm like, am I seeing things? Like, that is definitely pinging out these guys down here. Drip Apex must be like, what is going on? These guys just flew past us. Let's just leave them alone. Let them go about their very merry way. We ain't getting involved in that. And yeah, I mean, now shooting into a Nibbles coming from the south side of the map, close to the lawn side, and it seems like they spotted out an enemy. They've been making their way there, and there is a team, well, just there at the edge, and I don't think they're gonna be ready for this one.
I don't think Point One are going to be wanting any of this nonsense that Nibble Esports are about to show them. Some beams coming through, a little bit of damage, and Valkyrie, that might be a good connection. Not making it quite yet, but Nibble Esports definitely looking to get involved here. Get a couple of eliminations starting us off with. And here we go. We're going to see what this Bangalore has to offer. Coming through the knock. Absolutely disgusting here. Potential from Chambi as that ulti comes through and the damage is being dealt. I mean, so many of the players here from Point One Esports not feeling too happy, not feeling too healthy. I don't know how they get out of this one, Thendo.
Yeah, it's just looking grim for them to get out of it. Tenchi does take up a lot of damage, but... Oh, Tenchi goes down. Gut's struggling a little bit, but does follow through eventually. And then we'll have Chambi just there to clean that one up inside the dome. And no sweat for Nibble Esports there. Just some nice KP, actually. And especially if you look at that, they have no one in front of them. No one at all. You know, except for the team of NBN. But they're there in Geyser, man. No one's worried about them. They're making their way towards the zone. So Nibble won't be capitalizing too much on the kill points, right? But in terms of at least placement points, hoping that more of these teams up at the top fight each other, they're looking good in that position.
No, absolutely. And 2 legit to quit right there towards the northern side. Unfortunately, we're looking for a little bit of a fight, but that redeploy from that Valkyrie once again, thanks to Victrix Gaming, I'm going to say no thank you. We're not touching that fight. But they're dropping right on top of Skyhook. I think they're dropping right on top of another team. And it's Vibin. They're dropping right into Vibin.
Gotta be careful there. Vibing, wearing that crown high from their lost game, coming up on top, looking to continue this momentum. And I'm liking how Vibing is playing, right? You know, they're really just being calculated in how to approach these games, not over-aggressing too much, just staying away from while they need to. So it's going to start to be a little bit hectic, and oof, there's a fight that could happen on this rotation unless Nibble gets ahead real quick with NBN, but doesn't seem like much is going to happen. Those two teams there have been there for a while as well, next to that fragment east side on the outskirts of that compound. This has been chilling.
It's Pure Paragon and Radix, I believe, who are just staring each other down. Like I said, we've had a few state contests so far. We don't have any winners, but we also do have Vibe in Esports tapping away. And like you said, you know, we're talking about rotations. Look at how many teams are actually heading into Skyhook here. So for Victrix, for Vibin, they need to be careful. The longer they waste the time, the more they might be finding themselves in a third-party situation here, or especially with that Ashe ulti going through, just gets them that much closer to Project Rise, who will be pulling up on their location and tapping away at their shields with those rampages, those 30-30s coming in. Project Rise might be in for something else.
Charge Rifle dealing damage. We really split off right now. A team of Vibing. The zone's gonna be pulling out towards that broken train station just outside Survey Camp. People are getting involved in a fight over here, and there's a whole bunch of utility just dropping left, right, and center. I believe this is going to be a defensive bombardment dropping in from a team that's trying to run away with their very lives, but it's not going to be enough as Chambi is still just chasing them down. Some Nibble members will be hit by that and slow down just a little bit, but Chambi is still on the rampage. And maybe this is the play, you know, smoke in front of yourself, put the digital threat out, and then it's just easy pickings. Maybe that's why Chambi's playing the bank below. Gutbuster trying to aggress onto this damage, and this team is just running for their lives, man. But Gutbuster takes up a lot of damage towards his right-hand side, and it's Roy. We're looking to get a little bit cheeky here with Nibble Esports.
Yeah, getting a little cheeky indeed. Pure Paragon still in the same area because, you know, Nibble Esports, they interrupted the stare down. How dare you? They're having a good stare down there for quite a little while. KOA also pulling up right next to, I believe, Pure Paragon, and is that NBN? So everyone just pulling up here towards Fragment, and of course, Nibble Esports looking to take out Roy.
Okay. Some shots here with the wingman. A little bit of a connection there for Bunny Pants. I like that name.
That's a
Good
good
name,
one.
you know?
I love it. Yeah. I think
And,
it's
you know, sometimes gamers pick nice names and you're like, oh, Chambi! Takes Fat Boy Ruben out the sky there. Unfortunate scenes trying to glide away. And some shots popping through the smoke, but doesn't connect for much. Takes up a lot of damage. And Nibble in another one of those situations where, yeah, it seems like they've been having a nice little bit of momentum getting into these fights, but now they're just picking up too many fights, especially on the side of the zone that they are in. You just have so many people here. You have Pure Paragon just popping off some shots here. Skinny Soup with the Hemlock. Will they get aggressive onto this? The Gibby Dome has been popped, and they're redeploying out of this situation. That team on the opposite side, they're like, nah, we ain't having any of this. Not today. Wait, they're gonna redeploy as well.
That's MBN actually flying right towards where Nibble is currently in a little bit of engagement. I think they might drop right on top of each other or very close to the high rise. They can get involved here in a third party, and Roy not looking too good down to Falcon, I believe. Nibble Esports now picking up that final elimination. And they need to be careful here, though. As we mentioned, NBN just on that high rise. They've got great visibility towards exactly where Nibble Esports are. And Pure Paragon coming through here with the 30-30, getting the knock onto Subject. Thank you very much. But look at this, the bombardments once again. So you can stop your fights. We're going to get a little bit of recovery going here. Whoa! Hey, whoa. Okay, no. He's got a little bit of aim going on here, Thendo.
Oh, damn, Bunny Pants. Yeah, no, the aim is on point here. Crack of a headshot there to give that armor crack. Gonna push that player back off. No one is in the zone right now. We're just having a bunch of edge battles. So once these teams finally figure out that, hey, man, we gotta make this rotation, it's gonna be quite hectic as we tune in over here to KOA. Caught outside of Fragment, trying to make their way in. Are they getting sent on by a Revenant team, or am I seeing things? I think that team's maybe trying to pull up on this one. It is the Rev team coming up on this. They will be able to send a few back, and it's looking good so far for them to just hold on off, and they haven't taken up too much damage. It's a good time for them to maybe aggress onto that. Wherever that ulti was, they'll be trying to reset that squad. But for now, they're just holding some ground. And look, NBN's like, no, we're gonna make this rotation now. We have to make this rotation now. We want to make sure we're in a good spot on zone. Project Rise, however, on the other hand, seem to find themselves in a fight here in these caverns. And now, they're just holding this team off.
Oh, tap away with that 30-30. Trying to find a connection. It is Daddy Cool here with the Lobo coming through, and RTO Gaming finding themselves in dire straits here. Elysium down to half HP. Shields are being cracked, and Project Rise don't seem to be showing any sort of sign of stopping with those charge rifles, those 301s. They are looking for some long range and battles, peeking and prodding and doing exactly what they need to do. Not heavy investments just yet. As teams are making their rotations in, we tune back into Nibble Esports, who have been running around Thendo. They've just been running to any and every single team they can find.
Nibble's playing a pub, honestly. At this point, the way they're just running everywhere. This champion running up with the R99, does a lot of damage, gonna swing back up. But that knock will go down. Not to him, but to Tenchi. Tenchi now swinging it on up. Ooh, okay, this zipline plays kind of hot though. The wingman, he's getting pushed up. He needs his teammate to get into this fight. And it's just a really awkward bubble fight because of the way it's positioned underneath the ground there. They will be able to confirm those kills in Nibble Esports. and they're still on this tear down. And now the squads are starting to make this rotation in. It does look like Project Rise is still in this fight. They're still just poking this team that's inside here. The team that was RTO. It's too legit to crit also around the area. Wait, actually they took them out, it looks like.
Yeah, they did take them out. So we just put just on the edge here, but anyway, now taking quite a bit of damage here. XO not feeling too good about that one. Trying to find those final connections, and again, they're wasting a lot of time because they still need to get into zone. They're taking this fight right on the edge. And there's so many teams in the area that can just at any moment get involved for a third party, so get out of there as soon as you can. That zone as well pulling to quite an open area there by Epic Center. It's not going to be a final finish that everyone really wants. It's going to be a lot of dodging and diving between rocks, Thendo, but it's going to happen.
Come on, this way.
It was gonna happen, and it's not happening here for Roy. We're down, and then they came back, and ATK is killing them again, basically, right? Because ATK pushed them when they were outside on the fragment east side, and now they're on the west side, and you don't cross them on the west block here, you know? You're gonna go down.
Yeah, don't mess with Nibble. Nibble's gonna be looking for you every single day and every single night. Now, Radix coming on through. So much contention happening here. Everyone just trying to get out of Fragment into Epic Center. And literally, we've got 11 squads left. I'd say only about 2 of them are safe on the outskirts of the zone. They still have to make the rotation in. Everyone else basically shoulder to shoulder here. And you can see why. Razzling trying to find an opening here. The 99 bean. They're looking absolutely delicious. Wingman's coming through to finish the job. And Bangalore going to be going down. Not feeling too good about that. Radix now under pressure here, and you thought you could use that Ash ulti to get out of the situation. Not when Chambi is following you, looking for you, hunting you, which is all that they've been doing tonight. They're just hunting teams left, right, and center.
But Nibble is just scary when you hide, Justin. Just hide. Don't even go that direction. You're just gonna run in. You're just gonna run into your worst nightmares. Just come to life. Oh wait, what? Oh no, Nibble's going down. Oh no, this is tragic. Gutbusters out, but not for the count. And actually, as I say that, anyways, we'll go back up here. It's just a duo now of Nibble. And as I said, it's like, yo, you guys are running around and doing so much damage, and you just don't stop. You just keep on going. You're gonna get caught out eventually, especially in a lobby like this, right? Where you have the likes of KOA. You can be a bit of a spoiler, and it looks like Elite Dragon goes down there to Magistus run. And looks like Project Rise are looking to get a little bit cheeky in this fight. NBN is also close by, so still a lot of teams in this area. And now look, Nibble's in a really tough spot because they haven't been prioritizing the rotationers.
Yeah, look, like we said, it is qualifiers, so some of the teams just doing what they need to get in the points. And so far, I mean, Nibble, they've been picking up those kill points. But taking a look here at Project Rise, you are trying to get that confirmation, that team wipe coming through. The connection is there. 850 Gaming, though, taking down Majesteron. Very cool, down to a sliver of HP, but the 30-30 is strong. The aim is true, and Project Rise are going to stay into this one. That zone, once again, pulling towards the open area there, towards Epic Center. No one in zone. I think the closest we've got is NBN. But they're taking a peek, and Viburn's taking a little peek.
Getting these shots with the Hemlock from this distance. Alphon, please.
With the burst. With the burst as well.
With the burst, not even just like a young tap. He's bursting those shots and connecting with so much damage. Mayfair down to just the one. Gonna try to rat it out. That is the one Revenant team that we're still trying to do something. And it looks like Nibble got their players back up. And it looks like KAO bit a little bit too much than what they can chew. As those beams from Chambi is just absolutely suppressed. And Chambi doesn't care. He's coming back down. The Wingman's out as well. They're just absolutely pummeling the lights over here. Oh, KAO, why did you step up into Nibble's building? You will learn today.
I feel like a lot of these players are going into real estate quite aggressively. Deciding that, you know, we like these apartment buildings. We're gonna take them by force.
I heard the market's quite volatile these days, you know.
It's looking a little bit rough, but for the rest of the teams, when did they do the Gutbuster?
Dude, they rezzed the Gutbuster, man. He was out. They got his banner. They rezzed him in this spot.
When and where? I need a replay. I'll have to go check with them after this, but still talking about rotations. Too legit to quit with. Not a single shield on them. Do we not have batteries?
This is just what do you even?
Some subs?
This is just
Some rockstars? What are we doing? Why are we dead?
Oh man, this is just hard to watch. Please, just I'm have to just change away
donate
from
to
this,
Sol.
please.
Can we
Just donate a soul,
Just a Sol would be
something to
good.
the poor team. It's
Oh.
just Kush Muffin running and Nibbles around that area. So you're gonna have to be careful. Nibble might find himself with a free point very soon. Oh, this one is still coming. Oh, please, no. Yeah, thank you for going away. Because if Kush goes down to the zone, I was gonna cry right there. Vibing Esports, a team that looked like they might be crying very soon. The golden backpack res once again is going to be popped over here, but it looks like there's going to be a defensive bombardment that comes on down, and they need to be careful here. Vibing Esports, they're under a lot of pressure. It's the top 5 situation, and there's a lot of action still bursting in and around the zone, and it's not pulling in favor for them. It's actually going to be pulling in favor of Nibble, but Nibble are going down now. Champy is down to just a little bit of HP. It's going to have to be Tenchi to hold things up, as well as Gutbusters on the ground. They're gonna go for the res right out in the open. Oh my goodness, is he gonna get back on his feet? It's just going crazy. Champions are hopping up on top and doing as much damage as he can. Gut is back up on his feet. Tenchi with the mastiff is going blow for blow over here, and Nibble are still in this one.
That is absolutely disgusting. Once again, the Gibby golden backpack combination comes through and Nibble stay in. 4 squads remaining. NBN going down to what we thought was going to be an NBN win. Not going to be the case this time around. Nibble are not keen for another third party, and they've reset back into this one. Viben now looking to get a piece of the action here, finding a couple of shots here, throwing a couple of bullets, making some connections, but where are the knocks? Where are the confirmations? Arcstars don't like you. Move out of that one. Viben holding on for the time being. Project Rise. Ooh, caustic ulti here. Might be a bit of it. Oh no! Don't tell me Nibble's pulling up on this fight.
Nibble's pulling up on this fight. I mean, at this point, why wouldn't you if you're Nibble, man? They've come back to life so many times in this situation, and they're just getting ready for the Valkyrie ulti and the beams from Chambi, but they won't be able to get the follow through. Tenchi's on the opposite end, going blow for blow once again, taking down Swart. And Nibble are fighting separate fights right now, but they're holding up their own. What is going down with the squads? Vibing is still in this one. Project Rise is still in this one. It's 3 heavy hitting squads up alive in this final zone here.
And it's such an awkward zone indeed. I mean, so much open space to work with here. Shots left, right, and center, and all of the teams, all 3 teams are aiming at each other. It's a bit of a Mexican standoff here as we take a look at it, because who's going to be making that first point? Who's going to be making that first engagement and getting themselves potentially third-partied? Nice little position here from Project Rise there onto the spire, onto the mountain. Beautiful little bit of an angle that they can work with, and Nibble Esports feeling a lot of damage right now. Hopefully they've got enough cells. It does look like Champy's only got, a few 16. We'll be fine. A little bit of damage coming through.
16 cells.
Just a couple 16. Alphon with the scouts, making sure that they can use it to the best of their abilities, but they need to find an object here. They need to find Project Rise, who might be pushing up onto Nibble Esports right now. And Nibble Esports, Tenchi with the wingman, going to be making sure they're safe for the time being.
But it's not looking good because one is down. It's Gutbuster is down on his feet. Champy's trying to pop a shield cell, but at the wrong time. But still whips out the flatline and does a heap amount of damage. Tenchi still has a lot of HP to work with, but there's also the bombardment dropping on down. Champy goes down. Tenchi's about to go down, and it's looking like Viben might be able to capitalize once again and maybe win another game as they're starting to beam down the likes of Project Rise, Vibing Esports. Oh, Vibing, you just continue to roll. It's just a good time here.
I saw a Havoc there, so we don't have a devotion, but at least we've got the Havoc with the turbocharger. Taking an homage there to Dustweaker, and Viben taking an homage to ATK, getting 2 wins in a row. Once again, this is where we ask, is the third coming? Are we going to be seeing
This
3?
is not the team I expected to be going back to back.
No?
You know what? I gotta say I'm proud of the squad, man. I've seen the iterations of Vibing, and this roster that they have right now is looking really solid, I think and what a back-to-back performance from them. And it's just the way that they play in the zones. They're just holding good positions. They got the rotations unlocked. And I mean, man, chef's kiss for winning that one out.
Woo, absolutely. And once again, they're just making such calculated decisions. But before we get into that, we've got one more map left, and that means we're going to be rolling the giveaway. So if you haven't already entered, I hope, good luck. Unfortunately, you're a little bit too late. So we're going to roll it right now, and we will find out who is going to be the winner of that fantastic clutch mousepad. So keep an eye on chat. We're going to be seeing who's going to be taking it shortly. And again, Vibin, what are they doing? They're the ones taking those early rotations. They're the ones making sure that they're in the prime position.
I mean, it's kind of a weird storyline that we couldn't predict. It's like walking into a movie that you thought was gonna go one way, and then it's going a different direction, and you're like, wait, what? No ways. But I mean, Nibble almost had it there at the end, dude. Like, they were going fight after fight. They brought Gutbuster back to life, even. Oh man, it really was looking good for Nibble. But yeah, ultimately positioning won the game there, and they were just in a tough spot. Everyone was just focused on them in that spot.
Absolutely. And we do have the giveaway winner as well. So congratulations to OG Woza. You're going to be in chat. Probably going to be getting a little bit of a message there from nobody. Or at least you can whisper to them, message them in chat, depending on where you're watching. Congratulations. You're going to get yourself an clutch mousepad. Of course, thanks to Evesports. So, I mean, it looks pretty spiffy, I must say. It looks pretty neat. But Thendo, I don't know. The more I think about, okay, cool, what can we talk about with that game? The more it just doesn't make sense to me, because I feel like everything was going the way of, Project Rise, NBN, Nibble Esports. They were rolling through the lobby. And then in those final moments, Vibin just making those calculated decisions, as we've said, and really just in the nick of time, I feel like they got that third party going, and they made sure they just capitalized off of every possible opportunity that was brought to them.
Yeah, they really did capitalize on every opportunity, and we saw them in a moment where it was looking south for them, right? One of the players was down. They're trying to get that res in, and it was a golden backpack res coming in clutch again for them. And you can kind of see that a team that plays a lot of rotations will always have good loot like that, because they're making sure that they systematically cleaning out specific spots and rotations, right? And if there weren't any teams there, they'll be getting some of the loot on top of that. And I mean, the teams that I said we need to look out for, Project Rise being one of them, they showed up, There at the end, they definitely showed up, Project Rise. They just found themselves at the bottom of the hill, and they had to make that up climb. And at the top of that, they just found Vibing and Nibble. They had to make the fight on top of Nibble, right? Because you have to, sometimes that's the only play that you can. The distance between them and Vibing was just too great to go for that play. So Nibble was their closest option for a second place. And I mean, they got that ultimately, right? So really good one coming in from the Project Rise squad.
Absolutely. And, it was a good work for them, getting a couple good eliminations on the way there. They were going through quite a few fights. Like we saw them in the tunnel stock with, I believe it was RTO Gaming. So they've also picked up a few eliminations. We'll have to wait and see what those final top three are looking like. I do think at this point in time, Nibble Esports, I'm not sure if you agree, Thendo, but maybe what they're doing right now is they're just having a good bit of fun, right? They know
for sure.
They've picked up enough points. They know that they're way above where they need to be for the threshold to get into platinum. So they don't want to, give out any of their cards.
You know what I actually think it is, right? I think Nibble know realistically winning these games only isn't going to be enough for them to top the groups, right, in this gold tier stage here at the EGL 1, powered by Evesports and sponsored by HP and Omen. They need to get the kills, right? Because DNMK is so far ahead because they've been able to get those kills in the lobby. I mean, look at Cheetah Boy. He's been dropping back-to-back 10K games, right? And I mean, here you have Chambi as well pulling in with those similar numbers, but they just need to keep stretching more and more over the line. So I think you're definitely right in that Nibbles here, they're having fun for sure, and they're really taking up as many fights as they can. And they're winning these fights, and they have no business winning some of these fights. That one fight against KAO in that building when they made the aggressive push after they just broke that Gutbuster, I was like, surely there's no ways. But who's waiting at the end of the staircase? It's none other than Chambi.
Yeah, look, that res, I still want to know how they made it happen. Where did they find a respawn beacon? Did they have a mobile one? What did they do? Did they jump into zone? How did it happen, and how did they do it in the nick of time without getting attacked by that third party? It's just, it was beautiful. I wish we could have seen it, but for the time being, yeah. So Nibble Esports having a good time, right? Getting some a couple of kills, having a good maybe like a pub lobby style game. But for the rest of the teams, they need to be the ones to pick up those points. They need to be the ones to get into that top 40 threshold if they want to move on to the platinum tier. And if they don't want to have their journey in EGL 1 end tonight or tomorrow night, depending on when you're playing. So this is going to get to the point where, you know, the pressure's on. The teams really need to perform. And Vibin is just stealing points. We're just taking all the points.
Just stealing points and stealing W's. You know, let's do something different around here. Would love to see who everybody is rooting to win this third and final game here against Group A and F. Let's see who your favorite team is in the chat room. Spam that team. Is it Nibble? Is it Vibing? Project Rise? Victrix? Maybe KOA, NBN, RTO? I've been struggling a little bit, you know, and I thought that maybe, just maybe, they'd be able to find some ground in this lobby, but it's been a little bit slippery for them.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Unfortunately, I feel like once again, similar to what we saw with Nibble, you know, they continue for those fights, they go for those hunts, they invest heavily into those fights, and that's where the issue starts to pull. Whereas, you know, Nibble Esports might pull away, they might disengage, reset, come back with a little bit of a better standing. KOA and some of the other teams don't really have that opportunity. You know, they get third-partied, fourth-partied into absolute kingdom come, and then what can they really do? And those redeploys were really, really close. I believe it was KOA that made that redeploy just after Nibble, you know, interrupted the stare down. They got out, got into zone, got at least a little bit closer to zone, but I think they pulled up right next to either Project Rise or NBN, something around there, and it went downhill a little bit from there. But Ibis Heroes, also to shout them out, they made it actually to the top 4 there with those insane teams. I don't know where they were. I just saw their name go out, but somehow, some way, they were there just picking up those placement points. So again, it's those sneaky plays. We also saw that coming through from the previous group with Sparrow, where, you know, they didn't really do much in terms of the eliminations, but they picked up those placement points. They stayed hidden, and that's one way to get the points, right? That's one way to get you into the qualifier.
It is definitely one way to get you into the qualifier, and the action is about to continue here, ladies and gentlemen. We're launching in for this third game. And I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see if Vibin can do, I don't even want to know if we call it the impossible, because it's clearly not been impossible for them to win these games, but 3 in a row. Can they do it? Can they really end this one up right at the very top? And Bangalore's, please. I don't know if I'm ready for more Bangalore gameplay, but it's been good. The only problem with it is if you don't find the digital threat, then it's kind of a wrap, you know, like Champion's really capitalizing because of the digital threat with the bang smoke. You just pop it real quick. They can't see you, you can see them. But then it also becomes a whole part of your entire playstyle as a team, where it's like, guys, we need to find these digital threats because they're really going to be, you know, helping us in our gunfights. And that can also just be really RNG based.
Pretty much. And I feel like we also don't really see a lot of those opportunities. I mean, we saw the Gibby, the golden backpack and the Gibby really making a fantastic, you know, combination. The Bangalore, the extra little bit of movement speed, you know, the ulti coming through does a great little bit of at least, you know, giving you some space or maybe doing some of the damage needed. But I feel like it hasn't been as impactful or as crazy as what we saw with those Mirage in the previous groups. But come hell or high water, we still have our 2 Bangalores in the lobby, still in this one, and we'll see how it's going to, you know, go through.
Oh, a Rampart. Hello.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Couple
Welcome
of
to
changes.
the party.
I see a Revtain.
This is your
Oh,
look like.
okay.
Come find me.
Yeah, man. What's wrong with the little Revtain to excite us here?
It's on.
Yo, I remember a stage where Revtain was just meta, and I just was going crazy casting games because teams would have like second opportunities to come back and fight. So you just had no chance to breathe. You just be like, oh, but they came back from the yo, man, that Revtain meta. It was a lot. It was a lot. Thank goodness there's only one team here. Some of us need to breathe. And I'm in this zone right now. It's really interesting. I don't know. I'm feeling the staging pool. I'm feeling like it's a hot staging zone right here.
Yeah, look, I would agree with you there. And again, we have the same sort of thing with Victrix and RTO Gaming dropping there towards Climatizer and Viben, and what I believe was Point One Esports dropping there towards Skyhook. So very, very, pretty much the same similar drops that we're seeing through coming here. NBN probably going to end up there towards Big Maud. And yeah, staying the same. I don't know, that zone pool coming through here for the rotations that we're talking about. I think a lot of that northern side is going to feel the brunt of it when you're going to take those rotations.
Oh, I called it! Check that out!
Oh, yep, you did it.
Predicted the staging, but not quite. It will be more of a harvester zone, just based on how this one is looking.
It's close though. Staging's still in play, so you never know.
Good zone for Project Rise.
Definitely, they've really been doing good with those staging plays, and then they make those rotations a little bit more up. So if they can get a beacon scan,
my goodness!
they
Look
might.
at KOA. They're making this quick rotation to staging, right? And that fight might break loose between them and Project Rise.
Oh, I don't even know. Yeah, no, they kids. They got some 301s. They got some masters to work with here, and they're going to be pulling up right on Project Rise, who are looting. They have no reason to think anyone is staring down the crosshair. Look at Lone. He's just... You can smell it, Thendo. You can smell it.
Yeah, you can smell... Oh wait, they've been spotted out already. So Project Rise are aware to this attack, so it won't be too much of a surprise. But the Rampage is raining down some terror. And we're getting some early action. The alley takes up a lot of damage. And the team over here... Project Rise are good with the armors, except for Goose. Oh, Goose just got that level up. I mean, Loba coming in clutch in this situation. And now Project Rise are making a big decision back on out because, you know, a little bit too early for the kind of fights that they usually like to get themselves into. But hey, they don't have this real opportunity, right? Because KOA is really starting to push up really close. He's Lone taking up some shots, breaks the door there, so they won't be able to use that for cover, and they know that they're stuck in there now.
Stuck indeed. I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel right now, and you've got a couple of nades to throw in. It's not going to be a good time for Project Rise. A couple of knocks coming through here. But how long can they hold out? ROA desperately trying to take this approach and trying to get into the building. They need to be careful, though. Holding a beautiful crossfire now is Project Rise. They're hunkered down, they've bunkered down, and they're holding the line. Maybe with a little bit of that caustic gas as well. So they've literally got the perfect camping composition at this moment in time. They can just sit and wait. KOA, on the other hand, is the one that's wasting time.
You know, are they wasting time because they're in the zone? Yes, they're wasting a lot of their rotation time, doing their looting time. But in terms of a fight to take up, it's definitely a good one for KOA at least. Nibble now, getting involved in a bit of a fight. They're in the Lava City. And they spot out a lonely Wraith player. Some shots from Gutbuster won't really connect, and from the top of that tower, we'll see it is NBN. So this is a big rematch right now for NBN, you know, because they just went out to Nibble in that last game, in that final zone fight. Hey, this man has a rolling thunder already? What?
And a digi-threat?
What?
A digi-threat?
He actually has a digi-threat. I can't believe it. Tenchi's taking up a lot of damage though. So they're gonna have to be careful. Tenchi's gonna have to heal up. Gutbuster's playing on the aggressive side. He just deterred this push. NBN are backed up against the corner a little bit over here, but they've got the high ground to work with over the likes of Nibble. And this is a really big fight. You take down Nibble, the lobby really opens up once again, and then you're looking at Project Rise maybe to come through. NBN once again, if they can win this one, to come through, and then Vibing, right? Because then, wow, Vibing really will find themselves looking towards this third game, but it's a bit of a stalemate right now.
Yeah, coming through here, NBN and Nibble still duking it out, and we turn our attention actually back to Victrix Gaming. Looking to get a couple of combinations. The redeploy is there, they're out of this. And I don't know. If we're looking at it, there's so many contentions happening. Project Rise also getting out of staging. NBM going down now. It's only Blake actually left alive. And Nibble, they say thank you. We're going to start this one off with a little bit of what happened in that last match, but maybe now Nibble have a better opportunity. That zone going to be pulling on through, and Nibble going to have to make the rotation right back to Lava Siphon and right into Pure Paragon. So they might be having a little bit of a fun time here. RTO Gaming back in the tunnels where we saw them last. This time though, they don't need to worry. There's no Project Rise that's looking to take them out. But they might be looking to get a little bit of an aggression going here. Right by Skyhook. Look how many teams are there by Skyhook actually making the rotations.
There are quite a number of teams caught out in this spot. No one's really in that staging harvest area. People are still looking for these edge of zones. Project Rise is about to go up against Vibing Esports, and that fight is going down as we speak. He's Daddy Cool with the flatline, trying to dish out some damage, but takes quite a little bit himself. The whole of Rise is gonna have to stop and heal. And Roll One has just been using this child rifle the whole day. The whole day, every time.
Hey, it's good to pick up some Evo.
I mean, for sure, you know, and look how good their loot is looking right now. That's a lot of damage onto the caustic player over there. They're gonna have to be careful and slide out away from this one. Project Rise really needs to make a big decision on whether they want to take up this fight. Because thus far, Vibin has looked formidable.
I just hear Loba. And I start to panic. But Project Rise, on the other hand, might be the ones to panic this time around. Vibin coming through, looking to take out Project Rise, and with those charge rifle shots, we're going to be saying that might be happening. Daddy Cool, dodge and weave, please. Getting into the building now, going to be able to hopefully stay alive, but that confirmation shortly is now going to come through on, I believe it was Majesticon. Yep, there it is. Now Vibe and Esports have an opportunity here to take out Project Rise, who are one of the teams that they had to contest for that previous champion. Now, they might be getting themselves a foot in the door for a third win. Those caustic barrels can be giving just a little bit of space. Being a little bit annoying there to Rowan, but here comes the massive shots going through right through the door. Daddy Cool, not feeling cool. There's an Oxstar that is joining the party. Ryan have just secured themselves a little bit more space in those top fours.
My goodness. Just like, what do you even call that? He's just looking at the slightest of angles to hit those massive shots. And then Alphon gets it, man. Some good play there from the Wraith player, especially after the teammate goes down. It seems like 0.1 Esports find themselves in a tough spot on the edge of the zone. RTO looking to be really aggressive onto this one. Jazz has made a really big portal, and all three of them are stacked up against the door. So if someone goes onto that opposite side to get that flank, maybe dodge, it's gonna be a little bit tragic for them. There goes the scan once again, and now the doors open, the thermites pop as well. So they're really gonna be in a tough spot, and they're just waiting on the backside over there for one of them to push on out. But hey, it's a bit of a stalemate. The bubble play being made here. The push on out, the beams pop through, but there's a counter bubble that's going to deny the damage. The portal at least is going to get them out of this one. It's a big fight right now between 0.1 and RTO. The PK shots are massive over here from the Wraith player. And then the Havoc is going a little bit south right now for RTO. And 0.1 have a little bit of an advantage. It's all up to Jazz. He's got his full HP to work with. Can he get this one up? I don't know. It's a little bit of a hard ask for him.
Yeah, 1v2 situation here. Jazz now last remaining member here for RTO Gaming, trying to hold the line, looking for that connection, not getting it, but giving away the position in the meantime. Now, oh, the confirmations are there. Your teammates are going down. You need to come through with those PK shots. Make the connection. Gibby is dealing a lot of damage coming through. The shields are cracked. Jazz needs to retreat, reset, and try get back into this one. I don't know here. There's just an opportunity now for the opposing side to reset and wait. Teammates have been taken out. Banners can be collected, but at what cost?
Meet me here.
Big, massive cost. There's no ways I'll be camping those banners, you know. But hey, the zone might make it a little bit tough for them to camp onto those. It looks like Vibin's also getting a little bit active there in the kill feed. They seem to be taking out a squad. They're stuck on the edge here. Alphon currently the kill leader. And what a dominating performance from Alphon tonight. Really leading the charge on the team here. And look at the zone right now. It's pulling towards Harvester. We find that Nibble's actually perched up for a change. They're not looking for any kills. They're actually just sitting at the top there.
Ooh, a little bit of a change coming through from Nibble, prioritizing those placements. And the KOA looking to get involved as well. But first they have to go rolling through some of the damage that's being dealt here. Bombardment's coming out as well. Vibin just on the other end. They've just come off of a fantastic fight. And now they're... Ooh, Oxstar. Hey, Oxstar. Please, let's get away from these Oxstars today. They've been ridiculous. And I mean, they're going to be making that rotation all the way around to the far side of staging. Going into what potentially might be Harvester, might potentially be that staging pool. They might head right into both Nibble and the KOA making rotations.
Rotations. Win games. Nibble. Rotating out of the Harvester. Maybe looking for a little bit more damage, some more kills. You can see that they're doing well thus far, right? And he's vibing as well. Coming out with a lot of momentum, especially after capitalizing a couple of those kills. Scout will do what it does best and scout things out for the team in front. Nothing for now in front of them. Looks like Victrix is in a bit of a tough spot here. Dome's gonna be popped. They're all inside this train car. There's a team in front of them, and the bubble goes down, and the shots are being fired over there. And that might be Nibble Esports that look to be in an awkward situation, and with shots flying in like that, you have to imagine so. And Victrix just holding their ground for a tiny little bit. Yeah, there's the Bangalore player, Chabby, trying to run away from this situation. And I know Nibble isn't going to back up from this fight, right? They're going to look to get involved in this one.
Absolutely. They have no reason to back out of this one. They want to jump right in. They've been holding the line, you know, they've been very patient, holding there towards Harvester. So I cannot fault them for wanting to get involved in a little bit of the action here. Need to be careful though, so rotations coming through. Vibin as well, finding Drip Apex and saying, we might be taking you out of this one. Rotations coming through, a lot of damage with the Havoc. What is going on with the energy weapons?
As well, coming through with the scouts. Oh my goodness, Vibin, if they continue this form, for sure they'll be in those grand finals. And we'll see right now, Too Legit to Quit is also involved in the mix of these fights here. It's a bit of a triangle. It's not a love triangle for sure, because everyone's just trying to kill and shoot each other. 9 squads up. They've got to be careful, though. Because with these two teams having high ground over them, they can find themselves in a really, really tight rotation back in. But it's alright for now. Hey, oh no! Slot's just like, nah, I'm not gonna do it right now. Wait, this nade might be huge. Oh. Like, just do something. Don't let them get away for free. You've got the positioning.
Oh, do it. Do it. Oh, come on. Dude, an art. Oh my god. An art.
This is the team. I'm so confused. Like, they're not. Yeah, okay, there they go. They're starting to pop up these shots. And what did I say about them being stuck in this position? Rogue Joker takes down the one. And now the team is in a world of hurt. You gotta clear your back in this kind of position, being on the low ground. And now the rest of the teams can see that the heroes are attacking from this angle. Too legit to quit. They're gonna have to quit out of this fight for now, at least.
Oh, what's happening here? I think Little Esports now just pulling up on Eva's heroes, who were trying their best to do a little bit of damage, but now suddenly they're getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine as Nibble Esports pulls up on them and looks to take them out for the counter. Chanby with the wingman doing so much damage, and look at this, Eva's heroes. Where do you go now? Simulcrum down to a sliver of HP. They'll be able to bat up, but they can't go back. They have to push forward if they want to get into the zone, Thendo.
They do need to push forward, and Zone's closing on in. And I mean, they're just gonna get gate kept here, and they've got the high ground Nibble, so I mean, it's just a tough spot to be in there right now for the heroes. And Nibble still holding the edge of zone. Funny, right? Because they had the center zone where that zone was gonna end, and they decided to venture out for good reason, trying to capitalize on some of these kills. And there's the Ash Portal coming in clutch, like I said. Compared to that Wraith Portal where they would have had to traverse this distance, just a quick little TP out puts them back into some safety. Not a great spot, yes, but hey, it's better than nothing. Better than where they were just now. Vibin's also started to make the way to the zone. We've got 6 squads up. Nibble is still being a nuisance over here, as well as the Rolling Thunders being dropped down. I mean, yeah, it's looking really grim over there for the heroes. They're gonna have to find their way out, and Chamby's already found the knock.
Oh, there's still a bombardment in play as well. Nibble Esports are getting the knocks already with the Rolling Thunder. This is going to have to be the confirmation. I can't see any other way that Eva's heroes can actually get out of this one. Gutbuster going through with the wingman, showing that he can do it too. Finds Rogue Joker there. And now confirmation's done and dusted.
That 2 times wingman from up close, a little bit too lethal there from Gutbuster. Alphon popping up some shots on this player on their care package. Those Skynades could be huge if they don't move. It's for just 10 damage as that player shifts away. now, Vibing still aggressing onto this fight. At least they're nowhere close to where Nibble is. And the charge rifle shots again from Rowan. Doing a lot of damage. This T7 scout from Alphon, and now it's the Havoc beaming in. This team just in the world of hurt, and they're feeling the wrath of Vibing Esports here. My goodness. Vibing are looking so good. They're looking so regimented right now.
Yeah, the KOA not feeling too great after a fight like that. Lone and Ali still alive and well. Well, I guess as well as you can be after something like that. 4 squads now remaining. Of course, Nibble being one of them, and you won't believe it, but one solo from Eva's Heroes has survived and is currently ratting it out there for his team. At least I say that for the time being, but I think Nibble is chasing them down. Or Ash out of there. Just get your run. Crossfire, my friend. And Eva's Heroes once again making the top 4, but getting taken out. Now we've got a little bit of a repeat. We got Nibble, we got Vibin, and we've got the KOA in the top 3 duking it out for this win.
Man, it's tough to call because I think Vibin's in a good spot based on their high ground. As long as they can keep Nibble down here and keep tabs on what their rotation is looking like. But the KOA have a good spot to pinch as well. Oh, this charge rifle, man. Oh, the redeploy. This could be huge. This could be really huge. It depends on where these guys are going to decide to land. But this charge rifle from the air is going to be griefing Nibble. Oh, no. It's so much damage on towards them. And they'll have to still make this rotation to get a little bit closer to where the zone is. And now look at Vibin. They're making some room over here. They're making sure that they've got a lot of area to work with. And what's going to end up happening here now is that the KOA are going to have to fight up against Nibble Esports. I feel like they've read the zone wrong here. I don't know what that play was with that reposition from Nibble.
Yeah, I don't know what the call was there, but once again, Vibin now finding themselves dead center zone and with the high ground, as you said, to work with. Briefing. What are we doing? Charge rifle, put it away, please. No one can work with this right now. I'm gonna get nightmares from this charge rifle. Vibin, what are you doing?
The charge rifle is just like, just doesn't let you hide, man. Just don't have it any time to hide.
I don't know, Vibin Esports, yes, they've got the high ground. They're also so exposed, and look at Champion now. Look at this position that they've got. Mobile respawn been thrown down, but Chambi has got such a beautiful angle as soon as that bubble pops. There's got to be some Chambi shots. No, not a connection.
Vibin need to play this inside. There's no ways they can survive on the top side. And they've got a good spot inside anyways, but now they'll give up this spot for Nibble to basically go around full circle? What? Nibble was just here, you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, maybe they redeployed to see where all the squads were, you know, like maybe that was the play with the redeploy at least to see, okay, cool, this is what this squad is. The KOA can still win this game, ladies and gentlemen, right? No one is, like, yes, they know that they're keeping tabs that, hey, there's still another squad in this one, but they're not really too concerned with them just in the moment like that, right? Alone, popping off some shots with the R301 will do a little bit of damage. The zone's going to be closing on in for them now. They're going for the portal play to get into a good position, and they will be seen from the high ground. And that's what I'm talking about with that race portal. It just takes a really long time, and now they know exactly where you're going to be coming in. It's going to be right in front of Vibing's doorstep there. But look at Rowan. He's taking up a lot of damage. Vibing needs to be really careful now.
Oh, this is an amazing opportunity for Nibble as well, because now all of a sudden they can just watch the action unfold as Vibin and the KOA might be duking it out, and they can just focus on the third party. They got this high-rise position. They can spot on both the KOA, but they don't quite yet have that angle onto Vibin. So the best opportunity for them is that Vibin gets a little distracted with the KOA if they can try push into the building here, but it's all going to come down to that timing. As that zone closes up in, this is where the confirmation is going to come through. The KOA still outside, Vibin indoors, Nibble on top, and no one is looking to peek.
It's a tough zone because Nibble's good and Vibing's good. The team that's going to suffer here and it could ultimately give Nibble this win is the KOA, because they're at the backs of where Vibing is, unless they decide to make a sneaky play in. Ultimately, Vibing's in a pinch. The KOA just need to play their timing right here as...
I actually just realized, you know, but all of these last 3 teams, 2 of them have Wraiths. which we can play with the portal play there towards the end if it has to come down to a heal off, if it has to come down to a survivability. Nibble don't have a Wraith. They need to take this confirmation. They need to force the issue. They can't survive a heal off.
They can't survive a heal off, for sure. And the zone is starting to pull it in. So I wonder how hectic things are going to get. The KOA has just been spotted out by Nibble. So that whole pinching situation that I was alluding to ain't going to really happen as long as they've got tabs on that. This might be a Nibble win. Like, unless the dome plays that come out of Vibin are huge, this is a Nibble win.
Forget that.
I don't know. We'll see as that zone pulls on through. It's going to start forcing the teams to make a decision here. KOA, of course, still outside, still trying to hide from Nibble. As both of them regroup on top of that rooftop, and KOA just to the side. And mind you, just behind that door that they might have to use as cover is a whole Vibin team looking to take them out for the count. And here comes the zone, forcing the issue now. Still bombardment, still rolling thunders to work with that digital threat coming through. The bubble popping just in time, but here come the nades from Vibin. And now Vibin and the KOA actually fighting each other, giving opportunity here for Nibble to potentially hold this and take the win. Knocks coming through, KOA out for the count. It's Vibin, it's Nibble Esports.
And now it's just gonna be a 3v3 over here between Nibble and Vibin. Some damage has been popped onto the Vibin team already. But they've got the spot. They've got the ulti to drop down as well. They're still gonna have to get it in. But it looks like they're just gonna push this in. It looks like Nibble's just going for the play. Yeah, they just drop it in. One goes down on either team side. Who's gonna win the bubble fight over here? Red Act is trying his very best, but it's not gonna be enough. It's going to be Nibble that is still up. But Red Act's still going. No, Nibble. It's going to be Tenchi. And who other but Tenchi to bring them in for their first map win here.
There we have it. Somehow, some way, they had to force the issue. They did not have a Wraith to, depend on there, but they made it work. Beautiful timing coming through for them with KOA taking on Vibin. They had an opportunity and they took it at the best possible timing. Once again, this is why they keep going for their fights. They're winning them left, right, and center. And maybe, the first two games were just a little bit of practice for that final fight with Vibin, but they're going to break the Vibin streak.
Oh man, and you were hoping till the very end, especially once you see, once you see the defensive bombardment go down, you're like, hey, this is it. This is their opportunity, right? But all that does is gives Nibble a call that they're dropping the ulti down. We just have to push them into this fight right now. Throw our dome in and just go for this bubble fight. And the frags are flying either way, right? You actually could have given it to anybody there, especially towards the end when it looked like Red Act might just be able to clutch it. But the Gibby on top that time was Tenchi.
Absolutely. And Nibble and Vibin, both fantastic performances coming through from them tonight. But that is the last map of the day. Now, tomorrow we still got some more gold tier games happening. We've got Group G and Group H and so those two, going against each other. Then C and D going against each other for their final gold tier matches, their final opportunities to get into the top 40 to potentially go through to the platinum tier. Of course, this is EGL Apex, brought to you by Esports, powered by Evetech, HP, and Omen. We'll be live tomorrow once again, same time, same place. We hope that you're going to be joining us. Thendo, any final words?
Oh man, a bit gutted that Vibin didn't manage to go 3 for 3, right? Rooting for them till the very end, but great showing from Vibin. I'm seeing a lot of improvement from their squad. 80k as well looked really good tonight. Nibble, I guess we're done. I mean, it's been a good night here over here, guys, and we hope you guys enjoyed as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time and same place.